Welcome to another episode of Zoobox Live. It's Wednesday nights, and I feel like we just did this.
Well, we did.
For 5 hours, a marathon stream. That's the second longest one that Zoobox has ever partaken in.
Earth shattering.
Prophet says, dude. I am the Sofa King, baby.
How's your back, man? I know your back's been bothering you. Hope you feel better. Fucking cold ass bitch. Ice. Fucking talk knowledge.
There's good guy Dan. Set him straight. Did you get into the watch together thing, Dan?
Yes, I'm on it right now.
Okay, so Ryan, in the Skype chat,
you got to go click on the watch thing.
Got it.
So, I don't know. Looks like
history was made again today, boys.
Yeah, second time, baby. You
times.
Just realized, so you can tell me right now.
You look like shit, dude.
Thanks, man. What do I look like, man?
Nothing. I was kidding.
No, you're not.
Shit. He looks. What are you talking about?
Okay. It's just that angle. His chin is fucking.
I'm chubby, floor. Dude. I'm a chubby guy, dude.
He's a well-fed young boy. This boy was raised on grape nuts.
I can't say shit. I just ordered 2 medium pizzas, so.
Jeez. But I guess we're really heading for another bullshit fucking. What? Another bullshit fucking quick impeachment. These fuckers can sit there and argue for 8 months over everything, and then about the COVID fucking shit. But they can convene. Yeah. They literally did. The House came together. And they're like, fuck it, let's send it. Like, that's how it works?
Well, it's self-serving.
It's fucking gross. That's what it
is.
Selfish.
They're selfish, dude.
Fuck them. I don't know. It's fucking bullshit.
Let's, like I said on Monday night, it's just like, imagine if these fucking people cared this much about your private property and your right to do business. Now they're all cheering on the National Guard, whereas a few months ago when federal courthouses in Portland were getting attacked, they call them stormtroopers. But hey, as long as they're safe, as long as their livelihoods are taken care of, I guess we're all good. We're all good in the
listen, man, fuck him, dude. It's not real, bro. It's all fantasy.
Well, the Senate's not gonna convict him or whatever.
But that's good. It's not about that, dude. Like, look at how our government can really work when they want it to.
When it's self-serving, yeah.
Well, it's not even about self-serving, whatever. It's a fucking fallacy. It's a myth. It's a joke. All they do is fucking play games. You got Ted Cruz and all these fucking dudes. No spine. None of them. None of them have any fucking spine, except Matt Gaetz anyway has, honestly.
There was an interesting topic or point that was brought up, I'm sure you've heard it, Dan, about why didn't Trump pivot to other social media platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like why didn't he go to Gab or Parler before?
Yeah, and just make it.
From what I understand, I was reading something today, or I saw a headline rather, that he was told not to.
Because it would seem...
But even back before all this happened,
because it would seem radical.
Twitter. I don't think it's seen as radical. It's like whether people like it or not, and why it's kind of a big deal when people get completely banned from Twitter or Facebook or whatever. It's like, where 98% of social media conversation happens. So when you cut somebody out of that, you're ostensibly just cutting them out of the social dialogue.
Yeah, and I used to feel how some people felt about as far as the private or business they can do as they please, but when they don't apply their terms of service to a certain political leaning party or side, that's when it's becoming an issue.
Well, I think it should come down to this. If you're a publicly traded company, you may be private, but if you're publicly traded on the stock market, you should be held to the constitutional standard. So you can't deny someone access to Amazon based off of political affiliation. You shouldn't be able to deny someone access to anything. If you're like not in the pub, you're completely private. It's private equity. It's not public equity. So, okay, maybe there's an argument there. But when you're traded publicly, there should be constitutional, like...
Well, what do you think about the idea that, like, it's really not so much that, like, they make a decision. It's the lack of transparency in their terms of service and that they don't apply it equally. But it's also, now we're into this new thing where they literally work in concert with each other to deperson people. Like, you know, and this was the thing with the Alex Jones things that happened a couple years ago. It's like they literally worked in concert to erase a large part of his footprint within a few days.
Well, this is it's hard to prove.
Oh, of course it's hard to
conspiring.
prove. Yeah.
I don't think they conspired. Like I said, I think it's someone took a plunge that had enough weight behind them. Someone like Google, someone like Twitter, or whoever, and that gives everybody else carte blanche.
Yeah, it gives them the green light, but we do know that they are ideologically aligned.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Or you have the thing with a Parler specifically, and I was listening to somebody talk about some of the stuff, and it's like more of an antitrust issue, you know, in the sense that like Amazon is like a stakeholder in Twitter, I guess, or they have some sort of financial stakes in Twitter.
Talking about Jeff Bezos or
No.
Amazon?
Amazon, the company, does. So when Amazon decides like Parler can't use their web services, Amazon Web Services, it could become a conflict of interest because you're actually, in a certain sense, you're taking out a competitor.
Well, I listened to the...
Oh, so it becomes a monopoly? It's monopolized?
Oh, it already is, technically.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a monopoly. I mean, there's an argument. That's the antitrust lawsuits in 37 states, I believe, against Twitter. Oh, no. Yeah, Twitter. Then, like, in 48 states against Facebook.
For sure, there had to have been blue check marks calling for burning of government-owned property in these cities during the Black Lives Matter protests and riots, right?
Yeah.
Prophet says, Dan's right. These people don't conspire at all. These huge multi-billion-dollar companies with tens of millions of employees just break like a school of fish all at once. Just so happens. God, Dan. Well,
no,
I think
I'm not saying that there's no conspiring, but I think if you take into account what just happened with the president, was it collusion or what even happened with Parler? I think Twitter has already set the precedent before by banning larger public figures like Alex Jones and such, but that gives them when they banned Trump, that kind of gave everybody else the, like, you're gonna tell me fucking Snapchat had to fucking talk, like business like had to talk with whoever.
They're all owned by the same companies.
Well, Facebook owns Instagram. They own
And WhatsApp, yeah. What about like YouTube? Trump still has his YouTube account.
Yeah, but they stopped him from posting anything for a period of time.
YouTube as well?
What is it, like today. A week?
They did it
Did
today.
they?
Yeah.
God damn. Well, it's like now, you know, Trump posted that video today, and it's just kind of nonsense. Honestly.
Well, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not going to please anybody. Nobody's going to be happy with that.
Did you hear what Gab did with his Twitter account?
Gab, the social media company?
Yeah, they archived.
Oh, they archived his tweets?
And they put up every single tweet. Like, he's ever 95% of them.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, this is the beginning of like one of these weird things where they're going to memory hole shit, or they're going to have, you want to get really crazy, they're going to go back and change things. They're going to go back and edit his tweets.
They already have.
No, they'll go back and edit them. And then when you put them back up and you look at the archive, like, wow, he was really radical. And because they'll just change the phrasing of something or change a word here or there. Well. And now nobody's going to be able to look back. So it's good that Gab does something like that because you need to have the record. I mean, this is the problem with it in general. He was an elected president of the United States, and you're telling me we have no public record of like his public statements. You've decided to ghost them.
Well, this is the thing. There is no. So it is federally mandated that there is a library that will be made.
Yeah, but will that
for every president?
Yeah, will that extend?
Will that extend to his personal Twitter? Because he used his personal. He never used the presidential one.
Yes, it doesn't matter. It's still
hey, dude,
part of his
that's the
record.
law, and you know what? They don't really have much regard for that shit. as
I
we
mean, they didn't delete his account; they just suspended it. They have archived everything. I mean, that's all metadata. I'm sure they have everything.
no, of course they have, and you should be able
Yeah.
to go on the Wayback Machine and look at it. But
What up, Voyage? How you doing, man?
these are not. I don't know. I think it's just something that is ultimately damaging to the public discourse, and they're playing games. What is it? And Jack released his little statement today.
And then he brings up fucking Bitcoin, dude.
Because he's
like
a bro.
randomly.
He's a bro.
Like, well, this is the thing, and he goes, it was a tough decision, blah blah. Like, shut the. You guys wanted to ban him. You've been waiting to ban him. You've been threatening to ban him. You've been threatening. It's just, but they have the political willpower now to not fight them because a bunch of ex-lobbyists now are in the Biden campaign.
If you go back and listen to the Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, old Twitter podcast, it's extremely telling. They just don't care.
Well, they haven't thought much of this stuff through, and then when you ask them direct questions, they often cannot give you a direct answer. And a lot of times, a lot of the answers end up falling down on the side of well, these are things we're thinking about. These are things we have meetings about. These are things we consider. Even though there's no real proof that any of that ever makes it to action, right? We just don't know because there's no transparency. And when they have this much control over social discourse, maybe people do have a right to know who's on these boards, who makes these decisions, what's the litmus for this stuff? I mean, come on.
And then the Uganda election, or the country of Uganda banned Twitter and Facebook and any social media and all messaging apps from being used because Twitter was going in and censoring accounts they deemed to be doing election interference.
Yeah.
And then they complained. They complained. They go, oh, well, this is all against the open internet. This you guys are the biggest fucking hypocrites I have ever seen. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sean?
Yes.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
What do you mean Twitter complained?
No, Twitter
Twitter
put up a thing that said they disagreed with the Ugandan government shutting down people's access to major social media platforms a week out from an election, or a week away or something.
No.
What's the Ugandan government's rationale? That it's just spreading misinformation?
No, well, they were censoring. Twitter was censoring.
Like a specific side of the
Yeah,
spectrum?
they were censoring accounts in Uganda for talking about the election or something to do with the election. And now Poland is coming out and they're doing I think it's 1.2 or 2.2 million dollars per tweet that they take off. So if you go against their free speech in their country, they'll fine Twitter. So
well, Twitter has in the past, they have actually been they've played nice with other countries and their laws. Because
Germany,
you go to Iran, the places in India, the Middle East, they're much more censorious. They're much more limited in what they're allowed to say in public, and Twitter has always been there to bend the knee. I mean, the stuff with China. I mean, you've banned Donald Trump, but you allow other actual despot dictators to have Twitter accounts, and then they often spread lies and disinformation and whatever.
Well, and they're the reason they're banning Trump off of Twitter is because of safety issues, right?
Well,
that's what they made the claim.
They said that he was. But when he said he wasn't going to the inauguration, that he could incite violence because that would mean he wasn't conceding.
But now they're ostracizing half the nation, essentially.
Oh, dude, listen, man. These people don't care.
Couldn't you argue that they are in a sense inciting, not necessarily violence, but they're disrupting the political discourse of
Ryan? They censored the Hunter Biden story, bro.
That's the biggest fucking thing.
They censored it when 14% of people who voted for Joe Biden said that probably would have changed their mind or could have swayed them the other way if they would have known about it. And not to mention how Google was de-ranking stories about how Biden wanted to extend lockdowns, his chief scientists. They were suppressing those on Google too. Those types of stories, because then when people found out that they were talking about another 4, 6, 8 weeks of lockdowns.
So that's 100% election interference.
No, all the social media companies absolutely censored all the big tech, let's just use the generalization of big tech, absolutely manipulated information. So for example, Google was sending out alerts to go vote to like mainly Democrats and not Republicans.
So
like they were actually sending out alerts.
Are these tech companies operating in a gray area? Is that why they are legally?
Yeah, because we don't have the basically we don't have the law to have established any of this stuff because it's also new.
Was that the whole point of the hearings?
So they've done things. Well, I don't know. You know, they're for show. They're for to make you feel like they're doing something. They have not. Nothing's been accomplished. They can't really hold them to account for anything.
Yeah, but at least them. Listen, I don't think you could argue that. I don't think those were designed to change policy or law at this moment. But what it does is it brings the greater question to the main populace. And because at the end of the point, I mean, I think the average age of people elected to Republican is like 62. That's like the average. And then
you can't rely
well, the thing is this,
on
dude,
the populace when we have to have elected officials in these positions to create laws.
Democracy's bullshit. Democracy is wrong. It is morally and ethically wrong for every person to have a say.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. 51. This is what we're seeing in America today because of democracy.
Well, but we don't have direct democracy.
No, I understand we don't have direct democracy, but the way it used to work, because I'm going back through the Federalist Papers and looking how they ran elections back then, it was the state legislature. We never had to, because that's still direct democracy in those states. It is direct democracy. You vote for your governors, you vote for your elected officials in your counties. It's direct democracy. Maybe not for the presidential election, but in every other election, it's direct democracy. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. No, I mean, but it's right? it's a smaller version of the same thing, but you have much more of a direct impact. Yes.
No, but this is the point, though. It's still direct. The president means fucking nothing. The president doesn't do shit. They can it doesn't matter. We're talking about the. Well, hear me out.
At the state level, sure.
No, they don't do anything.
It's not.
They can always be overridden by the direct democracy.
Yes, and that's
always.
That's for a purpose. I mean, because you have to. Everything's supposed to balance each other out in the perfect world. But
tell me how.
That's the problem with the kind of proliferation of executive orders and how every president in the past 40 years has taken more and more and more.
Who holds the greatest power in your state? Who is supposed to anyway? I don't know. Who is the main? The way this United States was set up.
The Supreme Court?
No. Well, that's judicial. That's big judicial. Every state does have
the state Supreme Court.
They do. It's the legislature. The state legislature is arguably the most powerful. It should be the most powerful group of people in the nation. We have given too much power to these senators and to these representatives. They do not represent. Where is the accountability when they're in office?
No, I totally agree. And oftentimes there's no options. There's nobody primaries these fucking people because the establishment basically just backs their guy. They keep him in there for 100 years. Nothing ever changes. I mean, Lindsey Graham is a perfect example of that.
Dianne Feinstein's trying to run.
She's like 90.
She's 91. She'll be 91 when she runs. I mean, she'll be fucking 90 whatever when she's done.
Yeah, that part is completely fucked and completely broken, and that's why people, like Rand Paul kind of advocated for term limits and things like that because but
term limits don't even fix the issue.
Not entirely. It's a step in the right direction, but not entirely. No.
Yeah, but this is the argument that people like democracy in itself is a fallacy. The republic, there's literally was it Benjamin Franklin? He said, "You have a republic as long as you can keep it." This was never designed to be a democratic. It was supposed to be a constitutional republic.
Yeah.
The republic is supposed to be held account by the people. But what they've done, so like whether you disagree with what's been going on this past year, That is a portion of the people speaking, and they had, the collective came together and they decided that they were gonna fucking oppress people, and everyone said that was wrong, whether it was Black Lives Matter, Antifa, or the current riots up at the Capitol. Like for example, Epstein got off the first time because of the bureaucrats in our government. The bureaucracy is the greatest threat, probably.
Supposed to be like Disney characters.
Yeah, it's like Pixar and.
He looks like the dude from Frozen.
I don't know if I was. I don't know if I was the first one to do it, but I did it, and then it got like shared around on Twitter, and then suddenly I started seeing a bunch of them. I'm like, no credit.
No.
Fucking sick. Dude.
Lawless land.
I mean,
that's the meme law. It's meme law.
It's meme law. You're supposed to. But you're supposed to. You
could have gave me a retweet, dog. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Could have got us famous. And I think the democracy is more of a fallacy, and our Constitution, the way that this original setup was designed, was to make sure states had ultimate power. Post Civil War, okay, they stripped power from legislature.
Mm-hmm.
They stripped power from the states.
Yeah.
Because the states became too powerful, and from the big Fed.
From that perspective, because they were like, they use it as a pretext, just like they do any type of big tragedy or any big thing that happens. They use it as a pretext to change things. And people will go along with it because the Civil War happened, and everybody's just like, well, of course, we can't let this happen again.
I mean, is it too far gone? How do you have a path back to that?
We're close. We're close to something. Are you talking about having states have more power?
Yeah.
This
too much private interest, too much.
This was one of the closest moments in history that you saw where state legislatures actually stood up, like Arizona, and said, we disagree with what happened during this election. The political willpower is not there.
No,
when hear me out. When the Boston Tea Party happened, they were called like terrorists, basically. They were called they weren't loyalists. They were drummed up in the press to be bad people.
They were enemies
hateful,
of the state, man.
Enemies of the state. Now listen to me. I'm not advocating for what happened. But if people can't fucking look back in history and say a fire starts with a flame or a spark, excuse me. This is just adding fuel to the fire. You're talking about impeaching a guy. You're going out not just after him now, but his future political career.
Couldn't you take that same rationale and attribute that to the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots?
Well, yeah, yes. No, but this is the bigger deal with here is, though, they're saying de facto that their goal is to make it so the people cannot choose to vote for this person ever again. So you are taking the power out of the people's hands and putting it directly in the hands of the federal government.
Listen,
is this the fastest impeachment of all time?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Okay, maybe 95.
Impeach.
95. But this is the crazy thing. Why do they want to de-arm the populace? An armed populace can stand up to the government. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't think, okay, they have tanks, they have this, they have whatever, all this technology, you're not going to kill 80 million people. And if you do, no, I'm serious.
I mean, I get it. It's a number.
Like, if 80 million people said,
sure force, sure will.
Said, fuck you, you're not taking it from us. Because there was that, one of the lawmakers, the representative, I believe, so they put metal detectors.
Oh,
and she would refuse to be searched after it went off because she was armed. She has a gun. Legislatures are allowed to carry guns in public office.
And they're trying by social pressure, basically, to say that, no, you can't.
Aren't they trying to throw her out of office as well? They're calling for her to be...
Yes, they're calling her to...
It's
expulsion. Even 10 representatives voted today against Trump. But listen.
5.
No, it was 10. It's 227 or 237 today. What was it?
Oh, I
It's
thought it was
10.
5 Republicans.
I heard it was 10.
I couldn't
Oh,
fucking
I
handle
don't really
watching
give a
that
fuck.
shit.
I don't
Dude.
even care anymore.
The
No, but this is a-
grandstanding, the political
But here's
theater.
the
I
thing.
was
So
like,
there,
no, thank you.
So I have heard little vibrations going around that Donald or Joe Biden's trying to enforce stricter gun laws.
No, of course.
Oh,
So
that's-
this is right on the heel of the biggest purchase of firearms in American history.
Yeah, that's true. This year, I think it was over 9-10 million guns were
So-
purchased this year, or something crazy like that.
I think, I mean, just like kind of we've all said this, it's gonna come around to people on the left, and it's gonna bite them. It's probably sooner than later.
Well, this is the
What-
thing. When you start doing this stuff, then you have to find new boogeymen. So you have to move the goalpost. You know who's going to be next? Is the like Bernie Bros, those type of people, the Bernie Sanders wing. They're next. They're
right,
next.
'cause they
You wanna
threaten, they threaten the establishment. In
Yeah.
a
Well,
sense.
if you-
Whether you like them or not, they do. I mean, they want to primary all these. Actually, they're politically activated. Like their progressive wing is activated, is motivated. They want to primary people. They want to reshape the party and their image, which is not something that's happening on the other side, like at all.
So is
So-
Bernie in line with AOC, or is she too
More
far
often,
gone?
more often than not.
I think every American citizen should be armed by the government.
They should give you
Like
a
the
gun.
government should give us.
Everyone should issue you one handgun and one AR-15 M4 equivalent. And then every county should be armed with tanks and rocket launchers and military level,
Apache
which they are. Well, which they are with the National Guard. But why? So instead of a Medicare for all mandate, maybe we can get to that later. I mean, but if every single person in the country has a gun, and then also federally mandated law like training with the firearms. So like maybe at your 18th birthday, the government gifts you a, handgun and a rifle, and then you go through a 2-week training course where you learn how to use that said weapon.
Are you high?
No,
You've been
I'm
smoking
serious.
crack
Why
today,
not?
dude?
Why not? I'm not. But like, obviously, if you're psychologically disturbed.
No,
or
they're not going
something,
to. I mean,
but
I understand, like, in principle what
No,
you're
let's
saying.
do it.
They would
Let's
never
do it.
ever do that.
why not? Let's do it.
They
They
don't-
would never fucking give people health care, but here we are trying to take care of more when we can barely take care of some. That's Joe Manchin, whatever that fucking guy said that shit.
Joey Munchins.
This is kind of. I mean, is it? Am I overreacting? But this does feel very. I don't know. At the beginning of a dark time, as far as they're
Ryan.
censoring individuals, they're trying to de-arm the public.
It's gonna be.
It's history repeating itself. Isn't this what Hitler did to the Germans, and then Stalin did to the Russians? Isn't
Well,
this like exactly what they do?
I mean, they did demonize.
I mean, they are literally
the
propagandizing everything. Every aspect of our culture is propaganda, and it's controlled from one side.
Yeah, and now they've had, they are radicalizing and brainwashing an entire generation of people. I have a
Right.
story here to share that
Okay.
kind of leads into this, into the propaganda and how it works. And this is something I kind of said on Monday. It was just like part of Trump's legacy is literally 4 years of gaslighting from the other side and mainstreaming really draconian weird shit. And also this just this overwhelming trust of intelligence agencies and all that kind of stuff. Like that has been like mainlined into people's veins for 4 years.
So
And they are ready to bend the knee and just do whatever the fuck anybody wants to do. And anything that the state wants to do, they just unquestioned. They think it's patriotic. They think it's the right thing to do no matter what. And it's a bad thing. But what do you got something to say?
well, I was saying Trump
words?
represented something to the establishment, and they
Well, Trump, whether or not, okay, so say whether
him
or
as
not,
the person is different than what he represented almost.
no, well, this is the thing, right? Like he made people believe in the process again, for better or worse. Not
Yeah.
a lot of people thought somebody like Trump could ever get elected. Like I was in that camp of like, I was already like, by the time 2016 ran around, I was like, well, elections are kind of bullshit. Like I just don't believe in the reality of it. I feel like they pick who they're going to pick and they kind of just fuck around until they get what they want.
Here
But
we are
honestly, that was one of the best like 6 months right after he got elected.
Well, prepare to eat shit on the other side.
Yep. Yep, here we come.
Prepare to eat
I mean,
shit, buddy.
there is some of the best, like the Young Turks by Dame Bezos. That
Oh, Dame
that
Pesos
video,
is his super
Dame
cut.
Yeah,
Pesos.
but at least they didn't fucking storm the Capitol.
they
No, they
but
didn't.
They
What they did was worse.
Well, yeah, that's true. They burned
but no, but-
cities.
No,
They've
they-
radicalized an entire fucking generation of people, and this is going to lead into the story I have.
So
to
when
share.
you say that, when you say radicalized, do you mean it on one side or they're radicalizing
They're all
the left?
fucking. They've all bootlickers.
And by
they
policy
they turned,
and by their
they
actions,
turned the
they're-
Progressive Party, like what used to be like Glenn Greenwald and stuff like that, and they turned them into fucking bootlickers. They're all
not
there.
Glenn Greenwald.
No, I'm saying, but that's what he used to belong to. That I mean, Glenn Greenwald is for like a radical type dude, like he was 10 years ago. Now
Like the
he's
Weinstein
a
was
Nazi.
liberal, right? Were they
Well,
considered progressive?
He started in the Intercept. I mean, come on.
He was also called a terrorist sympathizer for calling out what we were doing in the Middle East.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you take people that used to be like on Glenn Greenwald's side from that like kind of perspective, and then you
they hate
turn
him.
them into bootlickers that are waiting for the government to come and give them everything, and everything the government does is right, and yada yada yada. Well, if you're of the right, the Democratic Party is right, no matter what.
Social
they do.
media is probably the most powerful asset that they possess.
Yeah, and it's weird. The CIA actually gives them money. Like they're funded by literally funded by the fucking CIA. It's ridiculous.
Who is?
Dude.
The social media platforms?
Yes, Amazon, Twitter.
Well, they got to make a buck, man.
And they do it under the auspices of, we're hiring them to store data. Like you're like, okay, guys.
Like they need that. You'd think you'd want to have that in the private.
Well, they were
interest.
already doing that with cell phone companies, like these offshore data banks that are owned by Verizon, housing all of your personal information that the CIA actually has a stake in. You're like, okay, that's great. That's the Project Prism, isn't that what that was?
Man, this can only end.
Actually,
in one...
Microsoft Xbox is part of that. They funded the creation of Xbox, the console.
What about Sony?
Sony, well, they're Japanese.
Let's move to Japan.
Let's go back to traditional
You think
Japanese
that's the
lifestyle.
answer?
All right,
No,
well,
the
let's
answer is
before
change.
we get too far off, I want to read the story, or at least show this story. I want to highlight this story because this is actual Orwellian shit, and this is kind of what I've been ranting about for the past week. Massachusetts teen turns in her own family as Capitol rioters.
Oh yeah, you sent me that earlier.
So were
Damn.
they rioters or they just attended the event?
Let's find out. A Massachusetts 18-year-old turned in her own family after recognizing her mom, uncle, and aunts amidst the Capitol rioters last week. Helena Duke told Good Morning America it was an emotional thing to decide to do. But at the same time, if I did nothing, I felt that I was as bad as them, Duke said. Her mother, Teresa Duke, was seen in a screen grab from Freedom News TV clip allegedly harassing a black woman. Holy shit.
Well, I mean,
Duke
she
called
was
her mother out
harassing
on
her. I
Twitter-
did see the video.
Twitter saying, "Hi,
I did
Mom.
see
You remember the time you told me you shouldn't go to the BLM protest because you could get violent? This is you." In a separate tweet, she specifically pointed out her mother, uncle, and aunt in 3 different pictures that surfaced on the internet accusing them of violent acts during the riot.
Well, I mean,
Good family.
Since Duke's
Isn't
tweet
that-
went viral, she has received immense love and support from several people. Well, this is the thing. So you take this action, and now you're going to lionize her and turn her into a hero. What a great person she is. In the eyes of the media, which is a way to signal to other people, you should do this because you'll get likes and you'll get validation and you'll get retweets from celebrities and all
You're
that
a
kind of
patriot.
stuff. You're a patriot. You are the most patriotic.
Man, this is like some straight up West and East Berlin type shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, but wouldn't you think? Well, it's not even that. This is more like
Yeah, people are selling
Stalin.
out their fucking families.
Well, this is more like Russia. Russia was really well known. I think, what's his name? The guy who wrote the Gulag.
Gulag
Archipelago. Yeah.
Alexander
He-
Solzhenitsyn.
He was turned in by a family member or a neighbor.
Yeah.
So like
But
there's.
I'm sorry.
I was just he didn't even like do anything technically. He was just assumed to be a enemy of the state.
That was most people, and then they started having quotas for the amount of people they needed to have in there. They would get those people in there any way they could because they needed a workforce.
And that's a lot of the sentiment you see online too. I will not stand. I will not bridge. I will not create a bridge between me and these people. I don't want to stand side to side with a Nazi. So
Yeah,
you're just
because
ostracizing people even more.
That's
and
the
you're
whole
not going to
point.
create.
That's the whole point of using those terms, because we have historical precedent why people react negatively to those things, like saying you're racist, saying you're a Nazi, because they want you to be forever associated with that term, so nobody will stand with you. This
But
is
they
like
don't
high
even
level
want to bridge the
psyop shit.
divide. Who's that fella that talked to all those KKK people? That's like
you're
the
talking about,
perfect example of what you could do in a sense. You try to de-radicalize and bring these people into the public eye, and
But the question is, they don't want to de-radicalize. They want to demonize.
well, it's
so
not
that
even
they can push-
de-radicalize because these people are probably just normal fucking people.
No, there
anyway.
is some radicalized people on both sides. There's no argument there. But this is the thing. There is no left, right, or indifferent. It's just people who commit violence for political gain and for not. And to say that the left, like Mayor Wheeler of Portland, did not let his city burn to the fucking ground because he did not want to have Donald Trump to come in and be the hero. That was they literally let people's lives be destroyed, officers be beat for weeks. It's all bullshit, man. So I'm saying the democracy doesn't exist. Your fucking vote, yeah, it matters that day for that moment, and then the moment it's gone. Like Donald Trump, what the fuck has Donald Trump done for the American, like, patriot, the people? He banned bump stocks. That's great. So now you can't own a fucking piece. He signed that bill. There was no real, like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Donald Trump, everything he did was bad. He's not. He did a lot of good things, I think. But this was a guy who had no idea what the fuck he was doing. He got put, because he didn't think he was going to win either, man.
No,
Donald Trump was doing that.
He was ready to start.
strictly for
He was
business.
ready to start Trump TV. That stuff was in
And
the
that's
pipeline.
gone now.
Yeah,
That's
it's
probably
definitely not
over.
going to happen now.
Not right now. But
Well,
it
it could happen. Why not?
Rasmussen, he went up
Yeah, I
in
know.
support from Rasmussen, which Rasmussen is, you can argue, is like definitely right leaning, but they've been more accurate than most.
Well, the creepy thing about him, and I don't know all the details on this, that some banks have preemptively decided they're not going to work with him anymore.
yeah,
Well, you're like,
Yeah.
this is
Couple.
when it gets out of control, and this
yeah,
is
but that's a
when it's-
lie. That's a lie, Sean.
What is a lie?
It's political theater. It's political fucking theater.
What, that the
You're
banks
gonna tell
won't
me
work
they're
with him?
Yeah, that's bullshit. You're gonna tell me a fucking Deutsche Bank or fucking somebody else, guy with billions of dollars with the largest capital. This guy has the largest public profile on Earth. On Earth.
I don't think honestly, dude, I think we're beyond like material reality. I think these people are ideologues. I think
No.
and there's also a lot of other
Wow.
rich people in the world that might be like, okay, well, you did that, we're gonna come and work with you now.
Nah, dude, nah.
Just saying.
That I don't
Why
buy
would you
it.
make that announcement?
I don't.
Why would you do that? Why would you
What do
do
you mean?
it?
Because
I don't know if a
there's
company
fucking-
would
there's-
or a corporation would. It's worth the risk of them being publicly shamed
It-
by other
it's like-
corporations,
It's like when
and
what's
risk
his name?
that they'd be dropped off networks or whatever the fuck what Amazon did to Parler. Why would they risk it?
What? What do you mean?
Like as far as like why would a bank take that on when they don't
'Cause-
have to?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not about it. You give it 6 months, a year after everything is over, and
Well, people
I
got short
guarantee you
memories.
they're gonna- yeah, listen, man. Trump is the most powerful person in America out of office still, and this is why they're trying to impeach him.
He looks.
Yeah, he
You're,
would have
you're
been. Of
Sean.
course.
Sean.
What?
You're crazy if you think that Donald Trump is still not the most popular person in the GOP.
They're gonna go after him, all of them, not just the Democrats, not just the left
No,
people.
you can't.
They're
Yeah,
gonna, you think New York's not gonna bring?
do it?
They're not gonna go after his ass. You
That's
think the New York
fine.
courts?
That's fine.
Dude.
Whatever.
It's
whatever.
like,
do you think
They're gonna do everything they
fine.
can to demoralize him. They may
No,
not
they
put him
won't.
in jail, but they'll do
They
everything they can to make him a
You may be
laughing
right.
stock.
You may be right, Sean. He's been there for a minute. The media has been on. Like, I don't even care. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, but when
Do
he's
you agree that he is the most powerful person
not right now
in the GOP? Who's more powerful than him?
in the GOP,
Yeah.
when
who's
push
the most
comes
powerful person?
right now today,
Yeah. Yes.
When push comes
Jesus
to shove,
Christ.
probably, yes, Jesus Christ. No, I would say maybe Mitch McConnell.
You're fucking high.
Dude, listen, Trump is
You're
not.
fucking
Trump's not
high.
a Republican, and he never was.
Sean,
He's a
Mitch
populist.
McConnell is
80%,
probably popular with his
80% of
constituents.
voters came out today or yesterday after they heard about what Mitch McConnell leaked to the press that someone who knew him, it was a leak.
No,
Someone
I know.
leaked
I
it,
understand
tested
that,
out. 80% of Republicans said that they would not vote for.
Yeah,
for
but it doesn't matter if
who
the
did it.
people don't like you.
Oh,
No, but didn't we just
He's
get done
still,
talking?
he's still
Wait,
powerful.
we
He's
didn't-
still by the establishment. He's giving
Ryan,
power.
yeah, but like if we're gonna talk about
Isn't that
quote,
what we
quote,
were just
the
talking about? Like
democracy,
Sean just said.
what?
As far as it doesn't matter because when these people these elected officials get in these positions, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes,
they don't
but
serve the
people
people. They serve. They're self-serving.
And then guess what? If you lose support from your base, okay, if you start losing support 50-60% of your people, quote unquote, if we're gonna go by because we live in a democracy,
Didn't Obama lose his base?
Obama lost 3.5 million voters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
10
still
years
won the second
later
term.
or whatever. How long? What? 4 years later, he's like one of the most popular people on the Democratic Party.
Well, that's just because they're ideologues. And that's because of Twitter, Netflix, and all these people. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is the most powerful person in the GOP. He's definitely been dipped down. This doesn't look good. No one is saying that, but you know, the average person, okay, who is a Republican knows Donald Trump didn't incite that shit.
Oh, of course
They
do.
know it.
We have
Well,
it
not
on.
even
know it.
Republicans.
We have it on
people in the
No,
middle.
fuck that. I don't care. People who are more Republicans are informed about Donald Trump than Democrats are informed about
Sean,
Obama.
you think
I think, but
Trump
Dan, I think
incited the riot?
No, I don't. But Dan, I think you're thinking of like the very involved, like the very online people do.
No,
your
your
average
base
person doesn't.
Sean, the amount of people that voted for Donald Trump, okay,
Well, allegedly, who knows?
allegedly 75 million people. No, 75 million people voted for Donald Trump.
80 million people
Those-
voted for Joe Biden.
Stop. Let me finish, please.
Sorry.
So when he goes, 75 million people voted who were ostracized, told that they were deplorables, that they were racist, homophobic, like whatever.
Oh, sure, that sticks with people.
Those, I'm not saying that you don't have your low information voter on those sides, but no fucking buddy goes from 65 million to 70 or 63 million to 75 million without people doing their fucking research or people being pushed away from the other
Well,
side for a reason.
Yeah, but
And that's the most powerful person in America, not Joe Biden.
I mean, but you gotta also take into context like the campaign, everything that was surrounding it, coronavirus, all of these things
Oh yeah.
kind of added to probably voter turnout to a certain degree. The ideological battle, the kind of the social battle that's going on out there, definitely added to it. It's bigger than it's ever been.
And the suppression of by big tech, yes.
And yeah, and I think that definitely, but I don't know how much that is actually like your average voter. Like honestly, I don't. I mean, because I
what
think
constitutes an average voter?
I don't know, somebody
Can you
that
break that down?
watches cable television.
Okay,
somebody
who owns cable today?
Somebody that's not like a.
Old people.
I mean, there's a lot of old people out there, dude. When they
Not
die,
even old
things will be
people.
different.
How many people
40,
in-
50 somethings?
40, 50 somethings?
Yeah, 100% have cable. Every 40, 50-year-old I know.
Oh, okay. You're right. But listen, most people who have cable probably voted for Donald Trump. Okay, I'm just gonna say
No,
that.
most people
I'm
who
not-
have cable voted for Joe Biden.
No, if
Probably.
you watch Fox News during the campaign, the lead up, obviously that was their prerogative to get him elected, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think they know the details, like the nitty gritty, like all of the things that maybe you know or I know.
No, I know. I had my friend tell me the other day the only reason that his buddy voted for Donald Trump is because of the gas prices. When under Obama, it was
Maybe.
actually low.
Maybe
It was lower on average.
Yeah,
on
but-
average, it was lower under Obama. He had the lowest.
Really? Even though when it spiked to like $4 a gallon?
Yeah, on average. Forbes
Well,
did an article.
that's why I'm
about it.
talking about people have very short memories. Like
Yeah, no,
2
they
years is
do.
a lifetime in politics.
Obama was a fucking was an international terrorist. International.
Oh, yeah.
He
Kind
over
of.
1 million people in Iraq between Bush and Obama were killed. That's fucking genocide. Genocide.
I know. I don't disagree.
500,000 might have been Afghan.
You'll find no
I'm-
disagreement
man,
from you, friend.
Over 500,000
Yeah,
in Afghanistan.
And look what the
America's
establishment did.
fucking up.
And look what the establishment did. They demonized somebody
what
that.
about Yemen?
Dude, I don't disagree. And look
That's
what
what
they
I'm
did.
saying,
They
dude.
turned
Like,
him into a
he literally
hero.
was a terrorist.
They turned him into a hero, and everybody
Yes, that's
said
how
he's
you know.
a hero because he
Who-
could smile
who's a
and
hero?
talk well.
Obama.
He's good at the talkings.
Great speaker.
All right, well, let's check out this video real quick because this is breaking. I mean, this is a big deal.
What is?
This video. This is a testimonial.
Jesus.
Uh-uh.
Oh, is this her?
You're
Let me go to the watch. All right,
Is this
I'm
the girl?
Oh, I'm ready. No, just watch.
No, this is Ashley Babbitt. No, I'm just joking.
This. Yeah.
We're gonna check this out here. This is important. I think people should know about this. I think people should, really come out, support this girl, find
This
her
is funny.
on her
I saw
social
you post this
medias.
earlier.
Past, I have appropriated and benefited from Black culture by not researching the history behind memes and poses before recreating them, and I am so sorry for my ignorance. This pose is known as a prison pose, rap squat, or jail pose, and I was unaware of its origins from prison culture as well as Black culture. I learned this pose from
Hold on.
Magic the Gathering meme.
Prison culture as well as black culture. She had to pivot. She had to. Oh wait, are they the same thing to you, lady?
And recreated it several times throughout the years without knowing its origins. I am so sorry for recreating this pose without knowing its history, and I am going to take time to delete any instance of me doing this pose from my social media. I also benefited from Black culture when I recreated the Harlem Shake and made a Lolita version.
Well, there you have it. Folks.
That's
Finally,
kind of the,
justice.
How fucking dense are you? What a fucking idiot.
well, well, the thing is, are you an idiot? No, I don't think she's an idiot. I think
yeah,
Well, look
you
at her
are
face.
fucking-
She's a
you are
simp.
stupid.
Look
You're
at her
stupid.
face. Look at the face.
no, but are you stupid?
How do you not
Dummy.
have the common sense?
Oh, this?
Well,
How did
no,
you not know?
See, this
Low
would be an
information voter,
Yeah,
Ryan.
What do you
exactly.
mean? That's not fucking prison. I'm sure fucking Native Americans been doing that after they killed a buffalo, Dan. Maybe they started that shit.
They came down, fucking.
Yeah, they fucking posed for the.
No, that's some. No,
Fucking,
that's some straight up gangster shit.
Yeah, Thunderbolt comes out, sketches him real quick. You know what it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Hey, what's the fucking traditional? Hey, one tier or some shit or wolf cry. Come, fucking
Like,
pay me
that's
this
crazy.
shit. Do you know that's one of the best, simplest Dave Chappelle jokes when he meets a Native American in Walmart.
I would love to see.
And
what people-
he goes, I have to test it out. So he takes a piece of trash, throws it on the ground. He sees one tear fall from his eye. Prophet says, dude, they're gonna put Trump under the jail. There's no fucking network in the works. It's
Oh, there
going to be
was. There
Nuremberg
was.
trials all over again, except Trump actually did all the shit they accuse him of. I mean, it's kind of sad to say, but Trump was the best president. But that's like, honestly, in like a long time. But that's a
Bar's not
low bar.
high.
Yeah, the bar ain't high. And
How long?
it's-
Damn.
What?
It's just,
What?
dude. This is There's no way back. There's no way back.
There is a way back. Stay strapped, son.
The way back. Well, that's
I mean, it started
it's a
right,
movie.
like kind of what you said, right after the Civil War.
Well, this kind of
It's just-
erosion.
it-
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it's
stripping
continuing.
of the rights of the states. The fucking
Like, how do
founding
you
fathers
fucking
wanted the
overturn
states.
this? There's no way.
The founding father wanted the states to be more powerful than the federal government. The federal government was there to enshrine, or excuse me, not enshrine, to ensure. It's the
Get
same
it,
thing
but
with the way our
Federal
Supreme Court is supposed to
government
work.
has this power. They're not going to relinquish it.
Exactly, and this is why
So what the
Capitol.
fuck do you do?
What do these people do? Antifa and the Capitol people are probably going to band together. They're going to create a coalition and be like, okay, we'll eliminate 25% of white people. Okay?
Just make a deal.
And then-
We'll just make a
yeah,
deal.
make a deal. Make a deal. 25% of white people. Anyone who makes more than, I don't know, $150,000 gone.
It'll be Richard
On.
Spencer and the guys from the rightstuff.biz standing over there, be like, okay, I guess we can do that. We get our own state though, right? We get our own
Yeah.
state though, right?
Do
No,
you
no,
think?
they-
Do you think a form of secession will happen? Maybe it's not going to be
not
California.
legal.
Maybe
They're
it's
trying.
going to be.
They're trying to a lot. I hear this a lot in every circle, man. It's starting to erode everywhere. It's that horseshoe thing, right? Like where it's like libertarian types, and then there's
Yep.
like the ultra progressive people. Like we need an amicable divorce. Why do we all
Yep.
have to be part of the same country? Why?
Yep.
Why do we have to do that?
I don't
So,
think that's possible.
I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, but you're seeing the rumblings of a conversation that may take shape
Listen.
at some point.
A divorce can't happen without blood being spilled.
Jesus, Dan, what are you doing out there? Are you trying to get us booted?
Why do you say that? Well, because it's not in the people,
No,
the
there
federal government's
is
best
no-
interest, so they're not going to allow it.
No, it's not even that. There is no divorce that is peaceful. There is no amicable way to divorce, to split your life up, to split up everything that we own as a country, because we own it all together. We own the debt.
What if we just
own
buy it?
this. There is no buying, dude. It's fake. It's fucking fake, dude.
Let's just
It's
buy,
not
you know,
even
the
real.
Southeast.
Dan says to me, face facts, Joe Biden is going to be the greatest thing to happen to America and liberty since the bombing of the goddamn Nagasaki. You're probably right.
So,
And
yeah.
like, no, but honestly,
Trump is just
what-
a stopcock, but now it's
This
going to
is
be turned
literally-
back the other way, and it's going to be businesses.
I think you
That's
guys
what's
mean.
gonna
I think you
happen.
guys mean President Harris. Okay, 'cause
What they're-
Joe
what
Biden's
they're-
going to be a puppet.
this is what's going to happen. Easily said and done. Big war is going to happen. Iran, probably going to go to war with Iran. The way it's going to work, they're going to say you can be a citizen and have full constitutional rights like gun ownership and all this is if you fight. So if you fight, like then, or if you serve your nation, then they'll give you constitutional right to own a weapon like they do in Turkey.
Yeah, except they
like in Turkey,
they
you
changed
can
the
own
name.
a firearm.
They
Well,
changed,
I hope there's a
they
fucking
changed-
pandemic going on.
They changed the term citizen to Simperson though. That's
Simpson.
part. That's
I
part
have
of
a
the
question.
cost.
Do you guys believe in forced vaccines? Should the government be able to force you?
Not this time, no.
No, why not?
They don't force you getting. Well,
Do they force
I
you to
think
get the?
they-
Well, it depends what you do.
Sean, do they force you to get vaccines for your children?
for
your
school?
child?
Yeah. If you go
I
to
know
a
for
state
school, but you could claim for religiously reasons.
you know,
They'll
you
still
can't.
let you
Uh,
in. Yes,
I
you
don't-
can.
Well, yeah, it
In some
depends on where
states
you
you
are.
can.
I think you
That's
could hear.
actually being argued.
In South Carolina, you can.
I would say for my job, the one that I have right now, yes, I have forced myself to get the vaccine. No, I haven't. Sarah didn't have to get it, but she's gonna get
Well,
it.
to be on this podcast, you'll be forced.
You'll be forced. Yeah, exactly. That's
Forced.
yeah.
Dude,
No,
the
the thing is-
vaccines, it's an interesting thing. It's an
No, hold on.
interesting-
Listen, I'm talking about the ethic. Is it constitutional? Is it lawful for the state to issue and mandate? Is that the King of Comedy and Taxi Driver? Yep,
So,
seen that.
but they're
That's
not
good.
going to mandate it. They'll just create restrictions, so you can't
Or
go
businesses
here
will,
No,
unless
yeah.
you
I'm
can't
saying,
fly. Unless
Can
you
the
get-
government force you? Should the government be able to force you?
No,
Why?
it's a violation of your rights. What do you mean? You shouldn't be able to be forced
No,
to.
for the public good though. For
Actually,
everybody.
technically, taxes is against the.
Listen, you fucking dirty Dershowitz lover, get out of here.
No, I haven't listened, dude. No, but he did bring up it was really funny, and he goes like, the draft is like an example of like forced labor, forced work for your
can't do it.
nation.
I haven't watched that yet. Is
You
it
might
good?
be able
Was
to.
it good? The Barnes
it was pretty
Dershowitz
good.
thing.
Yeah, Viva Frey moderated a debate between Robert Barnes and Alan Dershowitz, which honestly it wasn't that great because they kind of agreed on everything.
Except for fundamental, got to be at least one key fundamental issue.
No, honestly, not really.
So Dershowitz
Nothing-
won.
No, they just
Double D, dirty
they
Dershowitz.
Robert Barnes is more of, I believe, the individual, but they agree on so much. Robert Barnes is not like crazy.
No,
So,
he's not at
he's
all.
crazy.
Hold on, I'm about to
that's
drop.
why-
I'm about to drop a red pill, Dan. Get ready, everybody. Hold your butts. Wow. Wow.
That's not
how-
real. Shut up.
Dan,
So stupid.
are you not
dude.
seeing it?
Yeah, I can see it. That's.
Are you not seeing this, Dan?
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. That'd
That
be
would
awesome
be
if it was
hilarious.
true.
Yeah.
Dan, I caught him. I caught him slipping. I found this
oh.
from a very credible source
you-
on Reddit called
Who came back from the
Dinosaur
dead? Fucking Stanley
470.
Kubrick, directed by Stanley Kubrick. or his daughter or some shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Man, look at the terror they're causing.
I mean, did they? Listen, a guy died.
Oh,
A
dude,
police officer died.
there's some of that shit. Like,
That's very awful.
that's like what I was talking about when we were talking about it the other night, and just like
How many?
like they were so that place is so big. There were so many things going on in different areas while people were literally just milling around inside. So
I know,
like,
there was literally like
there's incredible violence
30,
going on
40,000. Yeah.
on one side, and then inside people are like, hey, you want to take a selfie? Sure.
Yep.
Do you want to
But
shit
not
on the
a good
walls?
idea,
Yeah.
though. Not a good idea. But I guess if they didn't know what was going on the other side, then that's a different.
Well,
story.
so what? It was actually it's actually pretty smart what they did.
Who?
So, what the Capitol Police did, I heard a great explanation of what happened. So, do you know that video when they opened the door
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they let them all in? And it was because they were letting them in an area that didn't matter.
Yeah.
There
I
was
know.
they were evacuating people to another area. That's why you see in videos of like cops, like the real place they're trying to protect is underneath the Capitol,
Ah.
where like everyone's getting squished. So when they opened the doors, it was to like funnel them in, and then
In and out of the
like
building,
like come here, no, just come on, yeah, you can come in this way. And,
Well, let's hear from the man himself. Man on the scene.
man, honestly,
Okay.
He broke all that. We know that. I'm saying Q tells us stuff and all of it's lies, is what I'm saying.
You keep interrupting me.
Because you're lying. Because you're full of shit. That's why. Because every goddamn thing out of you people's mouths doesn't come true. And it's always, oh, there's energy. And, oh, now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. You said it was all over. They were all going to Gitmo. Now, oh, he's part of a larger thing of Q. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one, and I know what you are now, and I'm sick of it.
I want a fucking t-shirt with that picture. With him pointing at the camera.
I'm sick of all these witches and warlocks and pumpkin popsums and everything. Oh, God. Sorry. Bye-bye, Q. I can't talk to you anymore. Jesus Lord.
I had to turn the old InfoWars back on. I'm locking in.
yeah, but Alex Jones was supporting Q back in the day. So
Did he ever see? This is the thing.
Yes.
Now you slander
I'm
this
looking.
man. You come on our podcast. You slander this man's good
I
name.
wish I could find the fucking video. I'm looking.
I'm
right
sure.
now.
I guarantee you, he talked about it. I guarantee you, he entertained
No,
it.
I guarantee.
I mean,
you
it's
he
in his
would-
nature to fucking dibble
Yeah,
dabble.
but he
And
was
then
literally
fucking-
saying, like, I have my sources in the government. They say it's true. And that
Yeah,
I
that's-
actually know who he is.
Well, you know the great
Like-
irony is like when he makes fun of them and he's just like, "You're always talking about your goddamn high-level government sources." I was like, Alex, look in the mirror, my friend.
Yeah, but I
Well, it's like when all that
honestly,
Sandy-
I think he has enough pull to talk to high-level individuals.
Oh, he's
been
been
around
around
for a
forever.
while. It's been in the game.
And if not, it confirms some biases I have. So let's just go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we got to plug back into InfoWars. Band.tv. I'm fucking all in.
Well,
I'm gearing up.
if people go
I can't
back and
fucking-
watch last Saturday's stream, I actually watched live a bunch
All right,
of
Shauna, I'm gonna
Band
send you
TV
this.
stuff.
Actually, don't play the first video. Play the second video. I'm sending it to you. Sorry,
I've
it's
got
the
an
second
alert.
one.
Is the second video you want me to do?
Mhm.
Here's Alex Jones admitting the orders were coming from Donald Trump.
But no, play the second
Is
one.
this one with like full context?
It should be 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this one we're all gonna have to
Yeah,
coordinate.
just say go. I'm ready.
Right, Ryan, you gotta hit play, okay?
On your go.
All right, hold on, I gotta mute this music. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
I tell you this, it's not to brag about my connection to this embattled president, because that in the modern world is a millstone around my neck. Just to understand what happens. No one would book the Ellipse. No one would book the other areas. No one would pay for it. We went and paid for it. Thank God a donor came in that paid for like 80% of it, because it cost close to $500,000 for all the equipment, all the stages, and the rest of it. The porta potties, you name it. And then the White House told me 3 days before, we're going to have you lead the march. The Secret Service, before Trump finishes, 30 minutes before or so, will lead you to a point, take you out of the front row, and lead you to the place where they want you to start the march, and Trump will tell people, go and I'm going to meet you at the Capitol. there was 1 million people outside of the ellipse that was, metal detectors folks coming in. And so by the time I got out there, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before Trump finished his speech, there were already hundreds of thousands of people ahead of me marching.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I was looking at it. I don't know.
So let's see what Jimmy Kimmel tried to say that he was saying. Because that's
I gotta find this video.
3 days
It's hard to
before.
find.
So
Yeah, but you could watch the videos that he posted, and then, I mean,
he's trying to get people not to do anything.
Then the White House told me 3 days before, we're going to have you lead the march. The Secret Service, before Trump finishes, 30 minutes before or so, will lead you to a point, take you out of the front row, and lead you to the place where they want you to start the march, and Trump will tell people, go and I'm going to meet you at the Capitol.
Yeah, so it's just there. That's typical clipping of a larger piece there. Try to make it seem like they're doing that with that other dude. What's his name? I don't know his real name. Is Ali something?
Ali, yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
it's like shock bars.
He's a crazy dude. He's a big part of that Stop the Steal. I knew
Before
about
Parler
him.
went down, he got fucking.
Well, he was sending out crazy. Like he's like a crazy.
He was like, "They're coming for me. I need help," and like he ended up making like $20,000 in the last 12 hours.
He's having like a paranoid breakdown.
Who says it's fucking paranoid?
No,
It's probably
I'm
true.
not saying that he shouldn't be paranoid, or they're obviously going to come talk to him. But everybody's trying to kind of like pin this idea, like, oh, they were colluding with senators and stuff. It's like, yeah, they were talking, they were setting up the rally, dude. Like they're trying to go after Turning Point USA. What's his name? Charlie Kirk? Is that his name?
oh yeah,
Little small face kid.
yeah.
It's trying to say that like, oh, he was planning it with senators because he bragged about 80 buses of people that he was bringing there. It's like, yeah, to a giant rally that they all had permits for.
Yeah, generally when you something of this scale, you probably should coordinate it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
gotta have some coordination. I don't understand, because you can watch the Alex Jones. Well, he has a little mashup of him on his megaphone screaming.
Yeah, trying to get people not to go there. On Saturday's stream, I watched that as well.
So he's
Listen, all I know is that Alex Jones did support Q. I'm trying to find it. I know there's a video.
well. Listen,
Dan just wants
why
to
does
smear
that
this man.
surprise you though?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. No.
Well,
At
it's
one
not about
point, he might
surprising
have.
me, is it? But like, he's claiming not. In that video,
No.
he's like, "Guys are so full of bullshit. I fucking knew."
Well,
it
that's
would be blah, blah, blah."
that's a clip. I mean, it's like a funny 48-second clip. But even in that, he's just like, I talk to these people. Like I don't know. I don't know anything about him saying like, yeah, no, I got the sources that confirm.
Well, that's what I'm
he was
trying to
saying.
fucking.
Anyway, check this out. This is what Elon Musk posted the other day.
Oh yeah, probably.
You think he's gonna run for president?
I hope not.
Hell, I don't want him to.
Yeah,
Stay
I don't
out.
think he's born.
No, honestly, dude, like it's all fake. I'm never voting probably ever again. Like I'm done. I don't know what the point is.
Are you ANCAP now? Confirmed?
No, it's just like I don't know what the fucking point. It's all fucking goddamn bullshit. They're gonna start wars. They're gonna do whatever. Doesn't matter, I guess.
Well, I'm what am I? According to
Don't
COVID, can't think of the phrase.
The what?
Simp.
I'm more important than everybody else.
A narcissist?
No,
Conceited?
I can't. Think of the
Essential.
fucking-
Essential.
I'm an essential worker. I can't go to war.
Probably
No,
not,
that's not true.
I'll just fucking kill myself.
I'm a
No,
father.
they will just.
Actually,
If you don't think that they can draft you, you're fucking.
I'm
high.
kidding. Obviously they can. I
Dude,
wouldn't be
they
very happy
literally
about
will
it.
be like, "What do you mean? Yeah, you'll have
Can
to
I
go to
be
jail."
what's it? A peaceful objector or whatever?
A conscientious objector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to prove it though?
I mean, you say I object. My conscience. It's your conscience.
Isn't that treason?
It's like Muhammad Ali was a conscientious objector. He almost went to jail,
Oh,
and he was a millionaire heavyweight champ boxer of the world.
It'd
So
probably be worth it.
they could put you in Ryan. You'd go in straight to medical. You'd be in a non-combat position anyway.
That's not, dude. I'm too old.
Oh no, you can be drafted. I think till 36.
Oh my god. Thank
Think.
God.
time, go faster. I'm almost in the clear, boys.
Yeah, it might be old. No, but
bullshit.
I
In the
think
clear.
the oldest they can go is 42. I
They
think
would-
that's the oldest.
That would totally be
I
my
No,
luck,
dude,
too.
I'm not
I
sure.
think it is. I think you know what? think it's time to fucking get out of here. I think it's time to move out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
It's time to go to the Philippines, boys. Let's go get a mansion. Let's go. Listen, you're gonna have to have sex with ladyboys, and you're just gonna have to live with it.
I mean,
We can look
hey,
at some
they're probably
pictures.
nice.
There's probably some ones that are probably totally fine.
No,
Possible.
I want to stay in the United States because it's still the greatest country in the world. But I need to get out of here.
I need to bug out, man.
Around too many goddamn people.
Well, that I don't disagree with. If I could, like, if we could just get high-speed internet somewhere and just go, like, live out in the middle of nowhere, I'd be down. We got to get that Tim Pool money.
Well,
we could
also
just
the
make our
Starlink.
own, like, go get a mansion out in the middle of nowhere and have them run fiber optic cable to our house.
You can live off of me and Dan.
What?
Yeah.
Be chilling.
You guys don't make enough to support my lifestyle.
Wouldn't pay taxes.
Son, I make $40K a year. What are you talking about, dog? It's got to be comparable.
You make as much as me, essentially.
Yeah, you guys are fucking bitches, man.
You guys are suckers.
Bitches.
You simp for the government.
Suckers. The only thing I hate about my house is there's some uneven parts of the floor.
Yeah, it's old
So I-
houses. It's just the way it goes.
But someday I'll fix
So
that. When
this
I
is.
get 20
I
grand.
think we should mukbang 2 pizzas a piece.
No,
2
I'm
large
not doing
pizzas
it.
a piece
I'm
with-
telling you right now, I am
and a
not
whole
doing it.
gallon of milk.
I'm not doing it.
And we have to eat the whole time. And if we stop eating at any time, either one of us, we have to take a shot.
I'm not doing it, Ryan.
Tequila.
Like, I'm literally not doing that.
You're gonna sit there and watch.
Fine. If you
You're
guys
gonna
want to
sit there and watch, man.
I ain't doing it.
Dan's gonna be jerking off in the corner, dude.
I
You're gonna
ain't
sit there and
watch.
watch.
Well, mukbang does
Mukbang
not
is, like,
necessarily
disgusting.
entail. It doesn't entail like eating large amounts of food. I thought. I mean, the best ones are obviously,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna tie you to the fucking chair like Grinch style. and just
Brian, I
shove
can show
shit in
you
your
some
mouth.
sad mukbangers. So
Shit,
people that just
listen.
eat in front of their cameras,
I-
just eat a regular meal. I found some.
I've seen some very sad mukbangs.
We're talking like they got Zoobox numbers. That's what I call them.
Mm.
Zoobox numbers, like 50, 60 views a video. You know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, 100%.
I want to hear.
Oh, you want to hear Dear Leader?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's your dear leader?
So this is Dear Leader.
This is her
Blasting
Instagram live.
GOP. I think this is from last night. She went on a little nutty tirade. This is the future of the U.S. government. Everybody, enjoy it, because this is what's fucking there forever now.
Didn't she have to run against Chuck Schumer?
I mean, at least fucking show
She'll
some
try
cleavage.
at some point. You show me them bazoombas, huh? Hey, why
Hey,
don't you
she's
smile?
hot, dude. I
Why
mean,
don't
I
you
would fuck her.
why don't you smile a little bit, huh? Smile a little bit for Daddy.
Let's see what she's got to say.
Dan's he's got a cock out. You got your cock out?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Or see the Republican Party talk about blue lives ever again. This was never about safety for them. It was always a slogan.
Who's she looking to?
Because if they actually cared about rule of law, they would speak up when people break the law. They would speak up. They would enforce fairness.
Well, they did.
What is she
I mean, you didn't like what
talking
they
about?
when they did. You didn't like it, but I mean, come on. Hey, what's up, Fractal? What's up, Maverick?
Hey, what's up, man?
And equity, but they don't give a damn about the law. They don't give a damn about order. They don't give a damn about
Is
safety.
she looking at
They
like
give
a
a
list?
damn about white supremacy. They care about preserving the social order and the mythology of whiteness than the grandeur of our democracy. That's what they care about. They lust for power more than they care about democracy.
Listen, I'm not even gonna say she's other than the white supremacy thing. Like, she's not wrong in how she kind of
Yeah, but she does.
couches
She
this-
does the same.
but
thing,
she does the
so.
same. She's part of this apparatus, and she has a lack of self-awareness that makes it disturbing. Because she's like one of these people that's like, yeah, well, I know how to do the good communism, so if you let me do it,
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
be fine. I know how to do the good one.
And she's not
That's
white.
what those people did when
She's
they
basically
voted
white.
to
Let's get real.
overturn the results of our free and fair elections. And you can barely call them that with the amount of voter suppression that they have engaged in across the country. It is generous, to say the least, to call them that. And so with all of the rules rigged in their favor, the Electoral College is built on a compromise with slavers. The Senate is rigged in their favor. Gerrymandered districts are rigged in the Republicans' favor.
But
This presidency and the law breaking and the
I love the idea that nobody in politics understands the purpose of the Electoral College. Like, this is a this is a political
they're just
science
saying
major.
it. Well, no, but she understands exactly what it is. She just refuses to acknowledge what the reality of why it's there. But the Electoral College is bullshit too.
Get out of here, Dan. You've
Because
gone too far.
all
Go
of
to
a
sleep.
su-
Take a nap.
All of a sudden, the Electoral College is the reason you won. Well, because they're saying we got the popular vote. Okay, they're saying we got the popular vote, right? Blah 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 blah. But that shit right there is bullshit.
Well, because
they
always
still
lines up.
stop. Because the Electoral College is how we fucking certify elections. So that's how fucking Joe Biden got elected. So it's like, it's bullshit. Because the same process they're saying that was interrupted is the electoral process, like the Electoral College.
I agree.
So it's fucking bullshit. That's what she's fucking dumb. She's fucking dumb. Go ahead, let's finish this stupid shit.
pardons of people who have betrayed our country, all of it rigged in their favor, and they can't even win with the whole deck stacked with them. They can't even win with the deck stacked in their favor. And so what they are willing to do is set a match and light our entire democracy on fire so that they can uphold the social order of white supremacy. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Girl.
Holy shit.
This is about thinking.
So, like, this is the implication. So when we talk about in the modern era, like, incitement and what that means. So if you're saying that, like, half of the government
this is nothing.
white
This is nothing crazier than what Trump just said. Honestly, I'll be right back.
What are you talking about?
This is nothing crazier than what Trump said. This is just as crazy.
Dan's he's gonna drop this bomb and he's gonna walk away.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
Figure it out, dude.
That
I don't
if
explain
an election doesn't reinforce your power, then you believe it is fundamentally illegitimate.
Yeah, I don't know about that lady. I mean,
they want a unilateral party. They want one party. That's what she would like to see. She would like to see Republicans. She doesn't want discourse.
No. Her whole bag is to delegitimize. Well, it's politics. I mean, that's what they all do, right? They're always trying to delegitimize each other's positions.
But she believes it.
But they take it to a new level because they impugn motives like beyond what reasonably I think you could.
Right.
I mean, you're just talking about cronyism. You're talking about people that are just there to consolidate their own power and stay in the positions they have, and they do whatever they have. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, white supremacy. Are you kidding me? Most white people don't get to enjoy whatever this privilege is, whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people are poor. Yeah. Everybody, and stop trying to divide people. Fucking poor people are poor people. Just, like, fucking, come on.
It's, that's sad. It's weird. It's just weird. Why isn't she speaking out against Twitter?
Because they love it.
You could take her same argument, and the way that social media and the classic news media is used by the Democratic Party is a way of voter suppression and spreading misinformation.
I don't disagree with that at all. No, I mean, you would think so, but it's because when it suits their purpose, they don't care. Right. Because this is the problem. Right. Like, they have no principles. They're not principled people.
Oh yeah, exactly. Man.
Hillary Clinton's looking rough, huh?
I will say, hey, that's whatever that fucking Adam Sandler movie is.
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie. Yeah. I will say, the Democrats know how to use social media. She is doing her fucking job.
Well, because they're younger, they're hipper, they grew up with a lot of it, you know? So they know how to utilize it in the same way that younger people do.
She knows what she's doing. They took over Twitch.
Well, that's pretty insidious.
All these young minds. I just hope, which is kind of like the normal order of things. In your 20s, you're more socially concerned, right? And then in your 30s and 40s, you become more conservative. So hopefully that still stands true.
I mean, what happens is people attain things. People get jobs, people buy houses, they have families.
Is that real?
Yes, it is
No.
actually. That's from today.
That is not real.
Hold on. This is 100% real. This is from
Is that
today.
Nancy Pelosi?
Yes, she's thanking them for protecting the Capitol. Yes, it's 100% real.
God, this
No,
is.
but those are the things that would make people start turning more conservative, because they would understand the concept of conserving, and then they would kind of see the unfairness of the system and being like, well, I work really hard. I have all these things. I'd like to be able to enjoy them and keep them. But what happens to a culture and a society that actually devalues the idea of having a family, of owning a house, of buying a car? They don't want you to own anything. There's literally articles
reset, man.
where they say that by 2032 you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Like, that's because it de-incentivizes you from actually wanting to keep anything. If you don't own anything, you don't have any stakes in your life, then you don't care. That's what turns people into conservatives as they get older.
What do we want to be, fucking North Korea?
Dude,
do we want to rely on the state?
Dude, this is
so fucking crazy.
It's a giant psyop, Ryan. I'm like only half joking.
Well, I mean,
nuts.
it's all.
Look at dear leader. Like this looks like North Korea.
Well, it's plastic, dude. It's like this is the problem with what we're running into.
But this is the divisive rhetoric. This is
you can't argue that
this is just as inflammatory as what Trump. They would argue Trump would do.
That's what I was saying.
So it's just like
this is
what
the same.
fuck are we doing?
Well, should she be kicked off Twitter? Should she,
No,
for trying to disparage white
at this
people in
old
America?
fucker. Look at that old bastard over there. Let me fucking stand in front of these people who probably despise me for 3 minutes so I can get a couple words in a photo opportunity. So I can post this on social media and Twitter, so CNN puts it up, and they put it out to the masses. They got a bunch of brain dead fucks. Look how it's just like.
Well, the thing is, it is a reality of the academia, and they're the greatest threat. It's the academia. It's also the Republicans have no, or not Republicans, but conservatives have no institutions of power.
Right, they're fucking behind on the ball.
Like
big time.
They are, because they were the ones that were the establishment back in the day. They were, and they have no establishment power now. And this is the first time that we're feeling the heat in the last 5-6 years. You could argue really the heat this last 10-15 years. As far as conservatives, because before it was they were alienated, they were demonized, they were the ones, like the trial of the Chicago 7, it was completely politicized, and the only way forward is going to be protest, and it's going to be mass protest.
Dude, I gotta be honest though, for Nancy Pelosi being 80 years old,
not bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Maverick says she's 81 years old for Christmas sake, held together with toothpicks and old joy from the 70s.
It's the truth, dude. She probably got it.
80 years old, dude. I would fucking.
She actually, she looked way better in her 50s and stuff than she did like in her 30s. Like she didn't look that.
Because she got that money, dog. That's probably when she became a
Yeah.
millionaire.
I gotta find Nancy Pelosi young.
She's not bad, dude. She was not that great. She honestly looks better in her 50s, and like she's okay, she's cute, but in her 30s, like she wasn't all that,
Crazy. She was born in 1940. She lived through World War II.
Technically, yeah. She was 5 years old, basically, when it was done.
Well, see, no, this is not a good picture. I found some.
Just do Nancy Pelosi nude. That's what I do.
And she's been in the house for.
Like honestly, I
typed in young Nancy Pelosi, and they're kind of few and far between. I mean, I don't like these. Maybe this is your taste. I don't know, Dan.
I have a question. Who watches movies, right? And like you're watching this super attractive chick, and you're like, I'm gonna check.
Let me check.
All the time, dude. All the time. Like I was watching Sherlock Holmes. And I was like, Rachel McAdams, I just gotta see her tits, and they're out there. They're out there.
Celebjihad.com.
Yeah, and do you know why?
Well, back in the day, it used to be Mr. Skin.
Without makeup and hair and her lizard face, Maverick. Is that what you mean? Because listen, I don't know, man. We all know it's fucking bullshit, and we all know that
frustrating because you might know it's bullshit, but you have all these individuals, you know, people my age that I see on social media who are in love with these people.
Yeah. I mean, dude, she's
It blows
okay.
my fucking mind. That's like if we loved Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, it's weird.
Nancy, get it.
It's
Big old
like a
titties.
weird sycophantic political celebrity culture. That's what they. I mean, it's kind of a joke because the politics is Hollywood
was
for
for
ugly
culture.
people.
I was gonna
Nice
say
try,
Dallas.
Dan, but no. Hollywood or politics is just DC is Hollywood for ugly people. There she is. Look, somebody caught a snap of her while she was mid-shift, shifting into the reptilian blue blood.
She is a blue blood, dude. I think this is the biggest thing we got to do as Americans. Stop interacting with
everybody.
sycophants. No, stop interacting with people who are crazy.
Yeah, but that's how you don't
Right.
bridge the divide, Dan.
Right,
When
I have a
when you
question.
Do that. You have
I have
to
a
bring
question.
people
Is
over.
social media real? Is
No,
that real life?
It's,
No.
it's a fake
And-
representation. It's what you want to be
I have a-
representative.
It's the
of yourself.
Matrix,
Yeah,
actually.
fine. Okay. My point is this. You know it's grandstanding. Why are you getting upset?
Oh, it's just
Like,
irritating.
you know it's... Why?
No, because they put these people in positions of power,
Yeah.
these people. Some
and
of
then they demonize, and they will go after you, and they'd be okay with putting people in prison for having an ideological.
I say let's
hint.
let it happen. Let's have it happen.
Ugh.
Because hold on, hear me out.
Dan, these motherfuckers would be throwing you in the
Like,
on the
let them
trains. They
throw
would
me
put
in
you in
jail.
the gulags.
Throw me in jail because I would rather die with my integrity or my intellectual or my what's the word I'm thinking of?
Well, I know the real answer.
With
I
my
know the
mind.
real answer.
But the thing is let them jail you. Let them persecute you because that is the only way that
Yeah,
people
Morgan
will see
Freeman
them.
went to jail for like 40 years.
Yeah, but his wife actually, Nelson Mandela's wife was a fucking monster. She actually lit a young woman on fire, put her put her body and tied her up, and then put her body in a bunch of tires, and then lit the tires on fire. It's a fucking true story. You can look it up. It's literally the consequence of being free is to be persecuted, is to be chased for your beliefs. It is a consequence of it. These people had the freedom to go to their capital and to fucking rip in there. You can disagree, it may be all illegal, but they had the freedom to go try
Of
and to
course
go
they did.
do
Well,
what they believed.
Sure, yeah.
They technically did.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
In the
the
relatives,
autonomy.
yeah.
and the autonomy to go do what they want with their bodies and put their lives on the line and risk those things, whether you agree with or not. Same thing with Antifa, same thing with BLM. You can disagree with them all they want, but they fucking did it. Everybody in this world is free as they choose to be. Some of the freest people in this world are serial killers, not bound by
Jesus
law,
Christ.
reason.
Dan.
No, I know I'm not making
Dan,
an
these
excuse.
guys-
They're
These
vile
guys rock.
people.
These guys fucking rock.
They're
Real
vile
there.
people. They're disgusting people, but they aren't bound by anything because they choose not to be bound by the
That's
morals.
just
I
chaos.
understand what
That's
you're saying.
chaos.
Yeah.
But Dan's using an extreme example to illustrate a point.
Maverick, disavow. No, but it just goes down to
Unsubscribe.
you can sit there, we can sit there all we want and fucking they can make up all these fucking fancy little laws. We got governors and people fucking telling you can't open your business when it's not a law. It's not real. And they do it anyway.
Well, yeah, because the police enforce it.
Exactly. But if everybody just said fuck you and just stopped listening, that is the end of it. It's just like what happened in Russia. Okay, people just stopped listening. They stopped in Poland too, as well. Poland, they just when communism was invading, they said fuck it. Eventually, they were like, fuck it, we're not doing it.
Well, it only took 50 million people to get there, though.
But this is the thing is
I don't want that to happen.
It's okay, I have a question. Do you view who is a freer person? A person who gets put in prison for their beliefs, or
Or a serial
someone
killer.
or for someone who bends the knee?
Well, I guess it depends.
No, because
Well, freedom is a mindset, right? So if this is the construct you're kind of coming from, freedom being a mindset, like, are you free in your mind?
Yes. Like, listen, obviously I'm not standing up for serial killers or anything, but I'm saying, like, these people, that's the most extreme, obviously.
I know that. I understand.
But
what you're
if
saying.
you just go, I'm not partaking in your system.
But that's illusionary. We're going to bring about change.
That's not true.
No, because you have. What do you mean I'm wrong?
You're wrong. 100% wrong. Jordan Peterson, by not partaking in the current political system, by speaking out and saying, I will not do what you tell me.
But he's actively defying it. If you're not doing anything, you just go to prison. You're not.
That is actively defiant.
Well, there's smart ways. There's smart ways to do things
Yes.
and dumb ways to do things. You can be a subversive element in a positive direction. Subversion doesn't necessarily mean a bad direction, but I don't know. But there's also, like, there's acting in self-interest, and then there's acting in the interest of a principle or the greater good. I mean, this is kind of that's the dividing line. Like, what are you worried about yourself, or are you worried about, like, your humanity as a whole?
Right. It's like no one should. Okay, why is taxes interesting? So taxes,
they're bullshit. forces
you to do community wealth. Okay, forces you to do collective wealth of a nation, basically, right? It says, we're going to take money from you to distribute for A, B, C, or D, or E, for your collective, for the collective. That is them literally.
World, sure.
That's what it's designed to do, while we're giving tens of billions of dollars overseas, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what the design of it is. The global economy is already here. Like, the global government is here. It exists. It is real. And the only way to subvert it is by risk things. Like, risk what you don't be afraid to like what's going on today. So, we should speak up about it, and you should also take the most political thing you could do is by not being political. Like, just don't be political. Don't make it about left, right, white, black.
You're saying
because in your everyday day-to-day life, you generally don't deal with that. But it's hard.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, you're talking about being traditionally political. I mean, there is a sense of, like, if you are trying to change people's minds through conversation, whatever, you don't get into the paradigms, you don't do any of that stuff.
Well,
you advocate for people to follow their first principles. Like, let that be the deciding factor. I've thought about this for politics a long time. I think parties are for politicians, and people should not be declaring anything. You should, like, I think it almost should be, like, secret. Like, you shouldn't know who's a Republican and a Democrat, and then they should have to be on the merits of what they say.
Well, I don't think you should even have political parties, period, right? We should just, because political parties,
we should fight in the streets.
It was not designed that way. It just ended up becoming that way. The Fractal Curve said, I've seen a video of a woman being burned in public over in Afghanistan over 10 years ago. Yeah, that shit happened
yesterday.
When I was in Turkey, a 13-year-old got burned alive for saying one of her teachers raped her. And she was burned alive in front of everyone, on top of a building, by a bunch of women. The women in the village burned her.
Yeah.
Burned her alive. Because you don't disrespect men.
You want that to happen, then? You want that in America?
But that woman chose. Listen, I'm not agreeing with it. Like, she was more free than those women who still lived.
I don't think she had a choice.
She did have a choice to not speak up about the rape. She knew that there was consequences for speaking out against it.
Or like, maybe she didn't. I don't know. Maybe she's raised in a progressive, Syrian home. Or
but like, there was a woman.
Home.
It's like Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson was oppressed. He was demonized. He was fucking told he could never be the real heavyweight boxing champion of the world, but he just didn't listen. He ignored them, and he pushed forward. It didn't matter.
Well, that's exactly what the left is doing. They're ignoring everything. They're ignoring reason,
that's why
and they're pushing
winning.
Forward.
That's why they're winning, because the Republicans will sit there and have no spine. It takes a spine. You can say this about AOC. It takes more of a spine to demonize 70% of America. Okay, it takes more of a spine to do that.
Well, half.
Wrong.
Let's say 40% of it.
No, it's 70% of America is white.
Wrong.
Oh.
Like all these people have more of a spine because they're radical. They have more of a spine
it's not a
than
spine.
someone like Nancy Pelosi.
It's not a spine if you will suffer no consequence for it. You have the entire establishment media and everything behind you backing your points of view. You're never called out.
Yes.
You're never asked hard questions. That's not having a spine, dude. That's actual privilege. That's actually being a fucking spoiled person of a prosperous country.
It's like, dude, everyone's about to get. Biden says within 100 days, every single person with $10,000 of college debt, boom,
Or
will
they're
be gone.
gonna take away $10,000 off.
Well, if we're already fucking printing let's just fucking do it.
See,
You know
I
what
guess
I mean?
cool. Like, yeah, dude, that's exactly what Venezuela did. Look where they're at. Listen,
Dude,
they're trying to crash the global.
Venezuela.
They're going to crash the global
The Great
currency, which is the
Reset,
USD.
dog.
That's why someone like Jack, Elon Musk, and all our world leaders are heavily investing into Bitcoin or some other currency that is more valuable. Because I don't know if you know this. So, like, once we left the gold standard in the 20s, it was no. They were trying to bring the gold standard back supposedly. So what happened was the global economy was fucking shit, right? Global economy was shit. And the only country, we started going around the world buying up all this gold. This is how the USD became the number one thing, right? And what happened was, so we were basically borrowing money from all these people, and we built our military up. We got super big. Cities got built really fast. Everything, explosion of wealth. The crazy thing is this. So in the late 60s, early 70s, I believe it's the early 70s with Reagan. I believe it was Reagan. It was the 70s, right? Or was that the 80s?
It was in the 80s.
It was what? So it was Nixon. It was Nixon.
Nixon and Johnson. No, that was
Nick-
60s.
It was
Ford?
Nixon. But no, it was Nixon. The world basically said, we want to trade all our U.S. dollar for gold. Because that's what they thought. They thought like, oh, well, our money, because the U.S. was like, you can turn this into gold. Like, you can literally turn in this money, we'll give you gold, because they had the world's largest supply of gold.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that the whole currency had actually not been backed by anything. So when they tried to get the gold, literally the United States was like, fuck you. We're just not paying our debt. We're just not going to give you gold. So it was this huge, big problem. And that's why oil became the largest and most valuable resource in the world. Oil had taken the place technically of gold in the global currency. Oil is probably the most valuable thing in the world.
At the moment?
Period. Yeah, well, yeah. No, because that is how you run countries. Coal and oil.
Well,
That's
we
how
got
you run
oil.
electricity. Yeah, we do have oil, but what happened this past summer when Russia and Saudi Arabia Saudi Arabia could give away oil for the next 40 years and it wouldn't matter to them. That's how much oil they have.
That's awesome.
Like, they literally can just shut it off and just here's all the oil you want and make our oil value go down. That's what Russia and Saudi Arabia did this summer. That's why you started seeing gas prices rise and they were putting fucking strain on us. It's all about resource management and resource control. So like our dollar doesn't even matter, and Bitcoin will be more valuable than US dollar for sure. And then they're gonna crash our economy, and it's gonna be all the fucking little people, just like during the Great Depression, are gonna get fucked, or 2008, and they're gonna bail out the banks, and those banks are gonna try to build up another currency. I don't know.
Well, banks are
Bitcoin
already
is
getting
crazy.
they're already getting into banks. So banks are already starting to accept Bitcoin. I wish I had done it in 2012 when I first heard about it, because I could be.
I mean, you
sick
could do it
right
now.
No,
So,
you can't.
I mean, you could, and it could
You
still
ain't
go
getting in
up.
there, dude.
It could still go up.
You can go buy like 1/1600th of a fucking Bitcoin
I
for
go
like
buy
35 bucks.
Yeah, I go buy spend like 300 bones and then just sit and see what happens.
It's literally not going to get you anything.
What do you talk, Dan? If it keeps going up, do you know what the ceiling on Bitcoin is? Huh? Financial
If it's
advisor.
gonna crash,
God.
if everything's gonna crash and Bitcoin takes over, it's gonna.
I mean, it's like
Turn my
what,
$300 into $3 billion.
it went to 40,000 from one Bitcoin, then it dropped down to 28. A bunch of people sold, then it went back up to 35.
Yeah, because there has to be scarcity. I mean, it could, because it's a finite thing. It actually is a finite thing. So the
Yeah, but
market
people
works
can
a lot
mine it.
differently. But
It doesn't even.
supposedly there's like some sort of math equation. There's a theoretical limit to how much Bitcoin can actually be mined, period. But
there's a conspiracy theory out there that what the government wants people to do is every home will have, and this is where like the social credit score comes into play a little bit, but what they want to do is every home will be outfitted, okay, with a computer that is ultimately designed to make currency. And this is how they'll do
mining it.
yeah, so like every home will be given a state-run computer that is mining currency, and that's how you
destroy
pay
it.
for it. But that's the thing is then because the US dollar won't be worth anything. So like that's the only way you'll be able to live is by having this to mine it. So like and they'll be all put onto a grid into a server, and that will pay for your electricity, that will pay for like maybe even your mortgage, and that's how it'll start out. And that's where state-controlled ownership will become the ownership of your property will actually be owned by the government.
Yeah,
and that's what they're ultimately want to do.
They'll let you have your things to be a Bitcoin miner. They'll let you keep your shit.
Well, it might be. I'm not even saying like maybe a literal computer, but everyone will be connected to the database where you're to be able to survive in the modern society is that you're going to have to be. So your social security number will be tagged to like a certain percentage of Bitcoin.
Man, don't you just want to die? It's like so annoying.
So depressing.
Well, and then what they'll do is, okay, well, you got a speeding ticket, so now you're going to lose 5% of your Bitcoin currency over the next 6 months. That's how you're going to pay for your ticket. Everything won't be actually owned by you. It'll be owned by the state.
I just don't understand why people, when Donald Trump was elected, they legitimately thought it was going to be like the end of the world.
It's never the end. It's the next evolution. And the thing is,
and the reason I say that is just because what he represented, and you have someone like Joe Biden, who's like threatening our rights and our privileges as American citizens.
Your rights don't even exist. What are you talking about?
What do you mean they're guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America?
Constitution's not fucking real.
What do you mean it's not real?
It's not real, dude.
Literal document.
Oh, a literal piece of paper that they don't fucking care about and they don't follow.
I understand that. I get that. Yeah.
No, Ryan, it's not real.
Well, yeah.
Everything is imaginary. It's imagination land, bro. The ability for your governor to say you can't fucking work, sheep. You can't work, slave.
Well, maybe people won't let this happen again.
Ryan, it will. It is happening. It's happened.
What do you mean? People have stood up. People stood up. Individuals in New York, the guy who ran over that cop.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or the guy that kept his business open, he was fined $1,000 a day.
Yes, there are people who will stand up. But without support from establishment, like you got Dan Crenshaw.
I thought you said I thought what you said, all it takes is the people.
It does all take is the people. It does. The ultimate
how many people?
6, 7, 10?
No, I would probably say at least 25% of the U.S. population.
How much? 20%?
I would say 20%. That's around 25 million people, probably 30. 50. I don't know. But Buckley said, but where does the production value in mining our own pretend coin? I have a question for you, Maverick. Why do you go to work for X, right? You put in labor to get currency. Your labor is valued at X amount. Well, what happens if they start valuing your property, right? Which they already do. So your house is valued at 200,000, whatever. So you get a certain percentage of Bitcoin every month. And blah, 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 blah. Like it's like the value of your labor it's different in every state and every country. With the exception of obviously like in America we have a minimum wage.
America's over.
But you gotta think about this. Okay, the minimum wage is the same exact thing as them forcing you to be paid a minimum wage, which is basically why stop paying people a minimum wage and start paying them a minimum amount of Bitcoin. Think about it that way. They'll say your value is this much. That's what they're saying to a laborer. Your value is 7. This is why the minimum wage is so terrible. So the minimum wage states that you are valued at this much per hour. So now businesses can devalue your labor, okay, to $7.25, when you probably should be getting paid more. But now there's a legal recourse for these major corporations to be able to stranglehold these micro economies and these cities and these people who can't afford to get good jobs, or they don't have the quote unquote education it needs to get these good jobs. The entire market is
You sound like a fucking nut job.
well, it's true.
But it's true. That's how they artificially control the markets and stuff. And that's one of the elements. But Maverick says, so the whole country mines Ethereum from home. Who's building things or making porn or doing things you want to trade your labor for? And I'm big into Bitcoin. I can't see how that would work. No, I think you would basically you'd be doing some sort of job for free, I imagine.
No. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm saying they will. It's not that you're not going to work. It's not that you're not going to build things. But so instead of getting paid currency, you're going to be like as far as like USD, you're going to be given a certain percentage of a Bitcoin, or hey dude, but it's not going to be. It's going to be given to you by the state. It's not going to be given to you by corporations, because they're trying to centralize the financial system. So they're trying to centralize it into where it's completely state controlled, because they feel like, I do believe that private ownership of the bank, like the Federal Reserve is a private bank, has led to this point. So I do believe there are a lot of forward-thinking people, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I've heard people talk about it, where if the government centralizes it and then the banks can't overtax you, it's way more regulated because of, like the banks won't be as powerful. And this is where the one world order and the one world bank comes into play. Because if everybody's using Bitcoin in the world, much like how they were using USD after post-World War II, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very fluent in it. But I can see how Bitcoin is going to be used, because our currency is going to be devalued so much. Because if work's paying you like $10,000 a month, Ryan, let's say work's paying you $10,000, $15,000 a month, but the PS5 is now worth $2,000, $3,000. Like, it's already happening. Like they're already talking about raising the price of the PlayStation. They're talking about it because of currency inflation.
Dan's like, don't worry though, I'm good.
Can they do that?
I got mine.
Why not? Why can't they?
Well, if the cost of the materials to make it goes up, then they would have to charge more to meet their bottom line.
Because it's all, I don't know, dude. I would say
Are you sure?
Why
they
can't
can
they
legally do that?
Can they lower the price?
Hold on.
I don't know. I mean, I guess technically, yeah, sales. But
who has the monopoly on PlayStation?
Here's a video here.
Chinese.
From Peter Schiff was on Fox Business.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin isn't used for anything but gambling. The name of the video.
Well, I mean, that's just a lie. That must be an
7-minute video. Well, he's very anti-Bitcoin. He does not want people getting into Bitcoin, Peter Schiff.
Yeah, because his fucking most of his wealth is probably based on USD currency value.
Cashola.
I'm telling you, dude. Like, this
as is everybody else, though. Most people.
Yes, they don't care about.
So
you,
he doesn't
Ryan.
want people to abandon the dollar in favor of like some new flashy thing, right?
It's gonna happen.
Then it'll just be a continual cycle, and the same thing's gonna happen in Bitcoin. Be a new fad.
But see what you're seeing with like the banks, like cutting off Trump, trying to cut off Republicans. That shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. If the government,
nobody fucking follows rules anyway, so it doesn't even fucking matter. The world's
that's
gonna
what
burn.
I'm saying. But no, it's not being negative. There's a lot of positive things that are going to happen in the next few years.
We'll see.
Modernization
Of what?
Technology, medicine.
We'll see.
Advancements in culture.
the vaccine.
Things are going to get better. Oh, wow. Hey, let's hold off on that. Well, I think they just possibly found don't quote me, but I think it's Alzheimer's. It's an mRNA vaccine.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, there are things that are like, dude, people
But
are going
that's
to die.
not in their best interest if they want us to die.
Yeah, what is it? Maverick says 70% of all fiat. Yep, that's true. Of all you basically U.S. dollars ever made was ejected in the last 9 months. 70%. Now Biden wants $15 minimum wage. It gives the working class false hope.
They've been pushing for the minimum
Coinky
wage
dink.
forever, though.
Coinky dinks.
Well, because
Oh,
they can do it
coincidence.
now because it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Oh,
Now It
right.
doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
Appease
dude,
the
listen.
masses.
They're about to give you fucking $1,400, whatever. They're
Yeah,
about to
there'll
do
be
it.
there'll be another stimulus, 100%.
Oh, dude, you're about to get fucking paid.
I ain't getting shit.
But guess what?
You gotta
Guess
go
what?
out there and
now
spend it
the
quick.
money that you make, now the money that you fucking make at home when you for your job is worth less.
Yes, that's how it works.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
I
of
don't know
working?
though. I mean, like, I don't
Like,
know.
nah, it's-
It's an acceleration of something of an inevitability, so I don't really know how I feel about it. But
No, but the
they
thing is,
they print this shit and they find it when they need it. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I
It's not
understand
even
how it
print,
affects
it's
the economy. What I'm saying is,
1,0,0,0,0.
it's just an acceleration of something that's inevitable because
Well,
our
could you-
spending is way out of control anyways. But now
Well, could you
we've just
imagine-
we've just
not
fast
like
forward 10 years basically.
It's not like the currency and the banks are backed up by. It's just they're just changing numbers.
It's all speculation.
No,
it's
yeah.
all bullshit.
No, it's literally a dude goes into a computer, he puts in $1 trillion and hits enter, and it gets put into.
You think how
That's it.
hard he feels when he hits that button? He's like, "Oh,
Be kind of
fuck!
awesome.
I just flooded that economy, dog, all over your face."
Flooded it. Well, but see, Bitcoin is finite.
I know.
I mean, that's what Maverick just said, and Bitcoin is finite until what?
For now.
Like until like so was the U.S. dollar at one point. They'll find a way to manipulate the system.
Yeah, now that banks
To
are getting
generate more?
now that banks are getting involved with Bitcoin, like it is kind of a signal that at some point that we probably will shift to digital currencies.
It already is digital. It's
No, I know, but like officially, like do these kind of we're gonna get away from like the dollar. We'll
like
go
I
to
wonder
something
how many
else.
people
It's the
got
global
fucked
government thing.
when we switched from gold standard to just
People
fiat
are probably
currency.
mad. I bet you people are
but-
mad.
but gold still retains its value today, correct?
But why?
Yeah, it does.
Scared because it's a finite resource. I don't know.
It's a finite resource, exactly. I have a buddy. He put like $70,000 into silver. It's wealthier than all of us.
Whoops.
That's a lot of money.
Where's this,
That's
what's this
I mean,
address?
You
It's-
could buy a Tesla with that.
2 Teslas if you get the cheap one.
Nah,
a
you
three.
get the good one.
Yeah, you got to get the
But-
self-driving one. Why even fucking waste your money?
They all self-drive, don't
No,
they?
you got to pay extra. for
Yeah,
the
but you can
self-driving
get
stuff.
every single Tesla can self-drive. You might have to pay
have to
extra
pay-
to put it in.
Yes, that's what I
It's
just
probably.
said.
I wonder if it's a
10,
But it's not-
switch.
15 grand more.
You could, but nah.
Yes. I
That's
talked
fucking
about this the other day. I thought maybe it was a Monday or maybe I talked about it by myself. I was looking at him. Somebody was like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't get the self-driving one. That was like 12 grand more." I was like, "Why? Then why even fucking bother?"
Well, it's because he's, climate conscious, right?
My Tesla interests me because I don't have to fucking touch a steering wheel. I can just straight stroke my pud, pull my pud, dude. in
Well,
the
you do
car.
have to touch the steering wheel. You do. You have to touch it every like 3 seconds. You have to like
Man,
have a hand on it.
Put your
Suicide
dick
rates
on it,
are
dog. What if
going
you
to
put your dick
go-
on it?
Through the roof.
Who?
Suicide rates are just gonna continue.
They
to-
already are.
Yeah,
Well, I
they
understand
have.
that, but from COVID, but just as I don't know.
Despair takes over
Yeah.
the earth. Yeah, it's hard not to fall into despair, man.
Nah, dude, listen, dude. Get a PlayStation 5. You'll be fine.
I'm trying, dude. It's not out there. The fucking terrorists have taken them all. The goddamn Chinese.
You should have fucking registered, bro.
I should have. But
I
know,
fucking
here I am
told
playing
you.
my fucking Switch, playing a fantastic game. So it's fine.
You know what game I've been playing? Because it was free only on PlayStation 5.
The shark
Um,
one.
Yeah, Meat Eater.
How is it?
It's a good putt around game. You just fuck around. It's not like serious, you know. It's just not serious. Maverick, no, I want cash.
Cashola,
Dude,
simoleons, my
yeah.
friend.
But I'm telling you, the greatest. It's good. It's gonna be probably back to slavery, some form of slavery. It's
We
probably
already
coming
are.
back. It's gonna come
It's
back.
already there. We're already there. We
Well,
slaves,
when is
dead
the next-
slaves.
When is the next socialism or like that next evolution of political environment where they really legitimate believe?
You're talking about
they
like
have
new school slavery? Because we still got old school slavery. Which is
No,
not,
I'm talking like straight up Orwellian, like no, just control, like you're a slave.
like Brave New World type shit too. It's gonna be a
No,
mix?
just yeah. It's all about social credit scores. People are. I mean, listen, is everything in China bad? Probably not.
Shut up, Dan.
No, I'm serious. Like,
Can I learn to live with it? Probably.
No, I'm saying like,
I'm gonna
is
be fine.
everything
I'm
in
one of
China
the
bad?
good
Are
ones.
there things about their culture that like they have a very high, what's the word? They really value like
Self-reported.
education, and they value like they do. The
You rely
culture.
on the state of China to give you
No,
accurate information?
I'm
Or are you just
saying-
talking about the people that they produce?
The people that they produce. The people that they produce are people who value education, value the family, value principles and doctrine.
Yeah,
You don't
but
have to
those
agree
are
with
like
it.
the elites, the little
No,
starving
th-
kids
just
jumping out of
in-
windows, getting caught
those-
by nylon nets. I mean, they're not very
Those-
smart.
Those are Uyghurs. Those are slaves. Those are not Chinese. They're not considered Chinese. I'm not
all
saying what-
Uyghurs.
Yes, all Uyghurs.
They make Nikes.
Yes.
Great stitch work.
They make Apple. They're involved. Like Nike cannot come out and say that they do not partake in slave labor. 'Cause
Oh
they can't.
man, fuck! It's just like fuck everybody. Fuck all of them.
Yes.
Fuck Tom Brady.
Dude, what the thing is about self-sufficiency.
Fuck Bill
So-
Belichick.
So let's say we all came together and we built our own community, where we farmed. We
Well, they don't
did
want
our
to be taxed
No.
for it.
not with me on the bill there, dude.
Yeah, but
If I'm the proprietary owner of everything.
don't you get taxed for farming?
No, you get tax breaks usually.
If it's
Um,
within a certain size. Oh, okay.
No, but it's not about that. But like, if you could create completely off-grid living with a house, and you had solar panels, and you had like maybe Starlink for internet, and you had water resource, the whole nine, and you lived as a collective, there would be no need for the government. There would be no need. Like that was one of the worst things to ever happen in America, was probably industrial farming. It's also one of the greatest things to ever happen to America, but people stopped becoming self-sufficient. People stopped learning.
Yeah, but
how
then
to
you
do those things.
governments within those systems will still be created. It's just at a much smaller scale. You still have to have order.
So
Government isn't bad.
Maverick says, "What do you all think of the future in regard to Biden and his cabinet believing the best thing for the U.S. is to move out of China's way?" I don't think it's about moving out of China's way. I do believe there will be a unification of China and the U.S. Like that will happen.
So if we go
That
to
is going to happen.
war with Iran, China's gonna be chill.
Yeah. Well, like no, because the thing at the end of the day,
Think China's gonna help?
China is evil. They're evil. They're gross. They're nasty people. But let's hear me out. Let's say we did unify with China, whatever, right? We unified in a way that is okay. If we want to be like in the same, you guys can't have no slavery. You have to partake certain of these like things on like as far as you have to have a constitution for your people, whatever.
You're right. They would never do that, but yeah.
They wouldn't. But the thing is, how do we stop that from happening?
Stop what from happening?
How do you stop from a global government? It's coming.
Yeah, it's inevitable. I don't think there is actually stopping it. The best thing you can do is try to slow it down, I suppose, because as internationally, as our interests become more and more entwined, which is not a good thing, because then we have countries where we're just like, we're at a deficit. We're not autonomous. We're not like self-sufficient. And that's obviously like something like COVID was one of these reminders that like, oh, this is what happens when you have to rely on other countries to actually bail you out of something. Like they can't do it.
Or
they
your
won't do it.
your own fucking country.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just basics like products, medicine, like things just like suddenly we couldn't get anything, and you're just like, oh, maybe this is a reminder of why it's not a great idea to outsource every fucking thing in this country to foreign
Well,
nations.
do you think like the Biden cabinet?
Well, that was a nice
Biden.
thought.
Do you think they're actually trying to move us out of China's way and make them the world leader and superpower? Because they pretty much are.
No.
What,
No,
China?
not on
China,
purpose.
yeah.
Maybe by ignorance or maybe by naivete.
No way. Sean, they did business deals in China. They know all about China, bro.
I know that's why we call him Beijing Biden, right? Isn't that a
Yeah,
secret
Xi
code name in the
Jinping, leader of the
CIA?
free world, dude. Leader of the free world.
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping, the Winnie the Pooh. Oh,
Yeah,
but we're
Pooh.
done.
Dude,
We're
South
about
Park
to get
is
fucking
done.
rescued.
South Park, Trey Stone and Matt Parker are gonna be executed. It's gonna be public.
Well, they like, I think it was Saudi Arabia
I
had
can't wait to see what they do.
something like 500 to 800 public executions this year.
Who?
Saudi Arabia.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Say in Iran, they're about to execute another Olympic wrestler.
Me being enlightened,
I don't care for speaking out.
I don't judge other cultures, dog. Okay, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
dumb.
I mean,
don't do
so
it.
let's maybe the real way to stop this all from happening is population control. Just send everything up, all the nukes at once, see who lives, let it ride. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when we're talking about these large populations, we need aliens to come.
Yeah,
That's what
we're
we
already under pretty significant population control.
Well, that would be
People
see, but
starving to death.
If aliens came, it would-
Abortion.
Abortion, the birth rate is like negative now, so it doesn't.
Yeah, but they're talking about other countries that are still having babies like crazy. But if aliens came, that would just add to our population problem because who's not going to want to bang an alien? You know what I'm saying? And
True story.
that we're going to have
Well, I mean,
alien human hybrids.
Wouldn't the greater
with
maybe
no
aliens
rights.
need to come to push us away from this? Maybe, I don't know. Like, listen, dude. Okay, I have a
Yeah,
question.
right. They would. The establishment would be like, "Go fuck yourself, you fucking stupid bastard."
And they would go,
The aliens come down.
and they would just get back on their damn ship. He said, "Get out of here, alien! We don't like your kind around here."
Yeah. I think the world is leading into it's going to. I just don't know if it's going to work. We're going to see what happens.
Well, you don't have
Is
a
it going to
choice.
happen in 4 years, 10 years, 20? I say 50 to 60 years. We'll probably be at a place where, and we'll be almost on the way out anyway. And,
That's
you know,
I guess there's that.
our kids are screwed maybe. God bless them,
Yeah, I'm sure every generation goes through this shit though.
No,
to be
they
fair.
do.
Yeah,
They
but
do,
some
man.
generations get
They'll
it
be
worse
fine.
than others, Ryan. Like, I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
mean
so we're
like,
not that bad.
it's-
We're not getting it that bad.
We're not going to get it that bad, but like Dan said, with the inflation, with all this stuff, this transition to Bitcoin at some point, or something like Bitcoin at some point, it might not even be in our lifetime, but we're obviously setting up the stages, the framing, the context for that to happen. And like, it's going to be, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know what else you can do, really.
No, just let it ride, dude. Let it all happen. Just let it
Yeah.
happen. No, but the thing is, if enough people in America do stand up, and I mean actually stand up, not
What are you saying?
shoot, kill people,
you
like
trying
not
to
do
say?
anything like that, just stop listening. If everyone in California just stopped listening,
Yeah, but
to the
people
government,
they
just
they,
wouldn't do
they
it.
do try. People do try to go in the stores without masks.
Actually, yeah. What's his name? Bruce Willis.
Is that what
Yeah.
that was?
Bruce Willis got fucking he already apologized. He cucked out.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he was like, I was
didn't know.
misinformed.
I was
and
high as fuck.
Yeah, Maverick said that's cute. China have an enormous disrespect of the West. China want to be the rulers of the amalgamated world.
Yeah, they want to be
That's
number
different
one.
to me.
China number
No,
one.
they do. They do want to be number one. But can China really go in and enforce their rules on another nation like England or whatever?
If we were to come
Like
together,
Taiwan?
if they
Well, that's
become
why
like,
they're trying to do it through culture.
yeah, they're doing it through culture, and America's kind of going on because of not to be this guy, but a little bit because of capitalistic tendencies. We're allowing them to kind of erode kind of sectors of our popular culture and
Crony
kind of
capitalism.
encode things into the minds of people, making them submissive, making them love the state. This is all over our popular culture. It's all over our movies. It's all over everything. And it's never been worse than it is now.
I mean, John Wick's running the whole time, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, John Wick's not as popular as Iron Man, but
That's true.
I think this might be worth looking at. This might be worth a little. See, we need a little pep talk. Now, Dan just really got us really depressed. Dan's coming for our souls. He's coming for our happiness, our joy.
Was it Alex Jones?
Did you hear about people fucking pissed off about people sleeping at the Capitol? Just
With
saying.
the
soldiers.
National Guard.
They're like, this is just disgusting. I can't believe we're no lower in the world. It's like, bro, they've been sleeping in the sand for like 20 years. I don't.
Oh, those
Sure,
guys are
people don't-
probably like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're National Guard. They're like, fuck.
I have to
was
fucking
chilling.
sleep on the floor to make Nancy
Yep.
Pelosi feel safe. Great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy.
They don't even give them a place to stay. They're like, nah, dude, you gotta stay here 24/7.
No, they literally
You're
are.
gonna
That's
like
what
it,
they're doing.
and you're gonna love it.
Like I said, imagine if the government gave as much a fuck about your private property and your right to do business. There'd be troops all over America right now. But yeah. All right, well, we're gonna see what this. We need a little inspiration. You know.
Yeah.
We
Let's
get
see it.
set straight. Already gold.
This morning I woke up in the vortex and I felt satisfied. This morning I woke up in the vortex and I felt eager. I love waking up in the vortex and feeling eager.
doesn't?
I like a feeling of eagerness. I like a feeling of satisfaction. Today I looked at someone and I felt such appreciation for them. I really enjoy
It's like some Scientologist
feeling
shit.
love. Today, when I'm in the vortex, I feel satisfied. I like being in the vortex because things feel clearer. When I'm in the vortex, I feel clear-minded. I feel sort of elated. When I'm in the vortex, it's like my heart is singing. When I'm in the vortex, I feel
Is this what she
satisfied.
does?
When I'm in the vortex, I feel ease. When I'm in the vortex, I feel
It's like
sort of
a-
energized.
sounds
When I'm
like
in
an
the vortex, I feel
exercise.
like doing stuff.
Yeah, like a
when I'm in the
mantra?
vortex,
It's like
my
trance.
body
yeah,
feels.
but
When I'm in the
people-
vortex, like I get hungry for chili dogs. When I'm in the vortex,
Remember
remember?
when the
You
When I'm in
remember?
the vortex, I like making Chewbacca noises. Brings me joy.
It's good. When I'm in the vortex, I like taking a walk. When I'm in a vortex, my dog licks my face. When I'm in the vortex, I just feel good. When I'm in the vortex,
Good
food
one.
tastes good. When I'm in the vortex,
Everything is
I like
better,
being in the vortex. When I'm in the
basically.
vortex, I know my power. When I'm in the vortex, I feel more sure about things. When I'm in the vortex, I know my own goodness. When I'm in the vortex, I just feel good about me. When I'm in the vortex, I trust that things are going to go well. When I'm in the vortex, I feel optimistic about things. When I'm in the vortex, I feel ready for more. When I'm in the vortex, I feel
Should
like
do this for
I
9
can do
minutes,
about
for real?
anything. When I'm in the vortex,
hope
I
so.
feel more sure of myself. When I'm in the vortex, I let people off the hook more. When I'm in the vortex, good things happen to me. When I'm in the vortex,
Do you not agree with
I can
what she's
feel I'm in
saying?
the flow.
All right. This is we're good.
Go
this
like
is
a couple
just-
more minutes.
Yeah, go like a
Just
couple more
let's just
minutes.
see.
She's just saying that like all the
Dan,
time.
listen,
like, geez.
these are called. This is affirmations of power. Now I know
is a
a
style.
grump like you would not understand this. You fucking,
mean,
you're
it's
talking
like-
about Chinese world government over here. I'm trying to bring
I
us
want it
out.
to happen,
I'm trying to
son.
bring
Let
people
it
into the
happen.
vortex. I'm trying to get people some fucking joy and some positivity in their life.
When
And
I'm
you're
in
over
the
here
vortex,
saying like, "This is
I
enough."
just want to fucking chill.
This is enough
When
of
I'm in
these
the,
guys.
you know, I've been in the vortex for almost a year and a half, 2
For
years
far
already.
too long.
It's fucking awful. Awful. Okay, let's see what's that.
Time and effort in a better way. When I'm in the vortex,
Oh, God,
things
go.
line up for
Go
me better.
more,
When
go
I'm in the
like- go
vortex,
more.
it's
Go
like
like the
time
7-minute
slows
mark.
down and satisfaction speeds up. Because in my interaction with all of those pieces, I just hold myself out and hold myself out and hold myself out. And my
Yep.
frustration is huge when I hold myself
Missed
out,
it.
as I'm trying to explain. But I'm only out because of this reality and this reality and this reality. Abraham, I now understand that you were never trying to say to me that those realities didn't exist. You were only trying to say to me that those realities do not serve me when I focus upon them. You've convinced me, Abraham, that it's time for me to tell the story of my empowerment. It's time for me to tell the story of my worthiness. It's time for me to tout the benefit of my knowledge of law of attraction. It's time for me to understand the vortex, whatever in the hell it is, and get into it. It's time for me to begin finding my way.
Just get into it, guys. I mean, do you need to know particulars? Maverick says, "How did you find this?" This
You don't know the Abraham,
So-
Esther or Hicks?
Esther Abraham, Jerry Hicks, whatever her name is. So she's like a self-help guru, basically. But her whole bag is that she is like the conduit for this ancient spirit called Abraham that's like thousands of years old, and she delivers like this kind of ancient knowledge to people through her voice. And we found out about it actually from Mike.
It was Mike that brought this to our attention. That's the one thing that Mike has discovered.
The early episodes of Zoobox, there's, I think, one of like within the first 10 episodes, we talked a bunch about Abraham, like back when we first started. It's like getting.
We haven't even brought up child pedophilia in at least 2 weeks.
I know, dude. We've been slipping. We've been too politics.
Fucking, pedophiles are everywhere, bro. They're in the government.
I'm sure it's at an all-time high right now. Politicians are working overtime. They need to fucking feed.
They need to get that energy.
Maybe that's why it took him 8 months. They were just collecting all the adrenochrome or whatever. Yeah, just sucking. It's basically like maybe it happens at the bottom of the bottom of the basement. It's just like that's where they all went, and what they were doing is they all get in a circle and they do like Dragon Ball Z.
Well, dude, that was legitimately, I think, part of the QAnon things. People were trying to get in the basement because that's where the children are held.
No, not that was Pizzagate.
No, that's probably
that was the psyop derailment of Pizzagate. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not talking about Pizzagate. I'm talking about I could be wrong, but people were trying to get in the basement because that's where the children were held. And they're trying to break him out of the basement.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? Have you ever been down there? That's all I'm saying.
No, I haven't.
You know?
What if they are down there? In like fucking eggshells or something.
Eggshells? What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Fucking delirious.
I'm just saying words, man. Just words.
I think
chambers. I don't know.
I think it's time to, figure out what would the other motive be if they're not. Like, why else would they have? Maybe they're saving children. Maybe that's why they're taking them. Maybe they're sending them off to like summer camp. Maybe they're going to Terramar.
That's how Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is finite, because it is.
No, dude, listen. The ultimate thing is what they're doing is they are creating a BioShock type of environment. They're doing that in Antarctica right now.
What, down under?
Yeah, it's called Terramar. It's a real thing. Look it up.
Is this a QAnon thing?
No, it's real. Project Terramar.
Oh, I don't.
When Ghislaine, whatever her name is, Maxwell, the FBI was asking her, so are you a citizen of the United States? She's like, yes. Are you a citizen to any other country? And she's like, France or something, or Italy, whatever the other one. And then they said, is there any other nation? She said, Terramar. Terramar is a group. Yes, she did. You can look it up right now. It's real.
Good for her. She's a fucking loon. I don't know.
No, right. She ran a global clean water initiative, and to save the oceans, funded by multiple billionaires.
Thank God for that.
The Clinton Foundation, like donating tens of millions of dollars to her.
Or did they clean the water?
With adrenochrome from the blood. No, but seriously, like there is an argument that. Where is the safest place on Earth? Where is the place where is like really it's hard to dispute is air and land.
Missouri.
And water. Air in Missouri. Air and land, air and water. So what they're doing, Antarctica is kind of a weird quasi. No one really owns it. Everyone's got their own thing.
Pretty cold, I heard.
It's pretty cold, but underwater, it would actually be safer to work in that type of a facility. It'd be safer in a colder environment because they can make the water more gelatinous around it easier versus
you're just making shit up right now.
Something that didn't sound legit. Yeah.
Until you said something like gelatinous. Yeah, gelatinous.
No, I'm telling you, that's true though, because if you can't have it in a higher temperature, because the water is too warm and with the salt, it breaks down the gelatinous fluid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and also, I'm just saying, guys, it's real. Wake up, Terramar, Project Terramar. That's where all these flat earthers have it wrong. That's why it's all wrong. Is like the Earth is flat. No. The Earth is completely sphere-like, but maybe the inside is hollow, maybe, right? And that's where, or you know,
Are we on the
maybe-
inside of the ball, Dan?
Yes.
Do we live on the concave?
Lord
Earth?
Stephen
In the
Christ is my
concave Earth?
savior.
Well, let's see what we got. See, this is I've never seen this, and I've seen a lot of this guy's stuff, just because he was a big
this is
staple for a
True
long time.
Gordy, right?
That's who this. I don't know who True Gordy is, but this
You don't know who
is,
True
this should,
Gordy is?
this should
He's a
answer.
big muscle head.
This should answer
Wait,
our
so
question: how the
you did-
Illuminati wants to control you.
You didn't watch the shit with Sean Atwood I sent you?
I
He did a
dude.
great-
I've watched so many of those, Dan. Like I
No,
can't
you
keep-
haven't. No, you
You're
haven't.
gonna
because
recognize
I
him.
cannot
You would know
keep-
who True Gordy is, okay?
You're gonna recognize him right now.
Is he the guy that was? Who is
Just
he?
he's on the thumbnail right there.
I
at
know.
the
who-
bottom.
I see that.
Who he is?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
honestly one of the best interviews I've ever seen. The
Is the
Sean
goal-
Atwood with True Gordy was great.
Okay.
All
Because
of
he was
the cabal then?
That's a very good question, and it's a very, very relevant question, especially for the young people watching this.
That's you guys.
There is an end game. It has been working towards it for a long time. This has not been going on for 5 years or 50 years. This
But
goes back
Maverick's
thousands of
loving
years.
this.
He's
And
creaming.
the key to increasing human control has been increasing human
That's David
centralization
Bowie.
of power. So, for instance, there was a time when the human race was made up of tribes, and the tribes decided what happened in the tribe. Then there came a big change when lots of tribes came together under what were called nations. And then a few people at the center of the nation were now dictating to all the former tribes that made up that nation. Through the European Union, we've gone to the next level, which is to bring the nations together under centralized control. And the idea eventually is to have a world government, world army, world central bank, world currency, cashless, which we're heading to so fast. And underpinning that structure of centralized global control is complete control of human perception, and it's happening in front of our eyes.
Why would someone want that? If
Well, I mean, why does Stalin want to control Russia with a rod of iron?
Well, do you guys have an answer? Why does he?
What do you mean? He goes disavow. Maverick disavow. I mean, but
knows
the
who he
thing
is.
is, what David Icke is really good at is basic psychological trick where he gets you on a basic premise, which is not a bad technique, but what he does, he goes, well, look at tribes, right? Tribes, they were doing their own thing, and then they got brought under the umbrella of like a nation, and then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what he said. Yeah.
that is what he said. But the thing is, it's not that he's wrong, though.
No,
It's that
he's like one of these guys.
When collectives,
That's like.
hold on, sorry.
Go for it.
Well, it's like the individual is weak, right? And then they get to, and like they cut, then they come together, like them and another person, and they make compromises, and then they can become stronger. Then they build a tribe or whatever. It's very simple. It's like, so would the world government and a one world currency bring people closer together as far as like how and be stronger? Would that be a stronger if everyone was relying on the same thing in the same currency? Is the reason why the world is so weak is because the lack of a global currency, a true global currency
The fuck
that can
you
be
on about,
monitored
dog?
by.
You sound like
mean?
a weirdo, dude.
no. What I'm asking, like, you started with this premise, like, here, this is how David Icke does this.
Yeah, but
you
he's
just
like,
started,
David
and now
Icke.
you
Not
just go into
wrong.
this.
He's not wrong, but why is it evil? That's my point.
Oh, because
The United States.
The
It's
re-
a collective of states.
I know, but the reason why, like, he would posit that it's a bad thing is because it takes away your sovereignty, your personal liberty, your personal choice. And what is the point of being alive or being a human being if you don't have those things? It is what fundamentally makes us who we are. But I don't, like, I'm not a David Icke believer. I just thought it was funny because I just saw the video. I was like, oh, how the Illuminati controls you. And he's going to take a long time to get to that answer.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how do you know that is not the right way?
How do we know
I don't know.
that David Icke isn't the
I-
Illuminati?
Well, then
It's not about having a collective consciousness, but people will
why? 'Cause we
say,
have collective consciousness got people on the left fucking going crazy.
But
That's
the
your
thing
collective
is,
consciousness.
I agree. I'm not saying I'm just trying to run it through its process. Why is it a bad thing? If
Why
what
is
we're
one a
doing
bad
in the
thing?
United States, it's like what we're doing in the United States. Is that a bad thing?
What?
What is a bad thing?
Yeah, what is a bad thing?
The way
Like,
we're
what
doing
about
our
the United
government,
States?
the way we're doing our structure.
Well, the way that
Where
it's
you
the way
have a
that it
collective
is-
state of nations
Yeah,
or
but
states that is being overall ruled by a federal government.
But
Sure.
the states have state rights.
Yeah, but well, you could say that like maybe we've gotten to a point where we need to like reassess or revisit like how we do things. Sure, like you can't do the same things forever. Like you scale, you get bigger, the reality changes, population density changes. Like all these things change. Like you might have to go and institute some changes. So I mean I think that's a reasonable position to have. Is the world changes as things happen, you got to be able to move with that. But like don't forget that as like a Western culture, throughout tons and tons of history and tons of war and battles and martyrs and all this stuff, we have gotten ourselves to a place where we actually have all of these value systems that we have learned through hard fought endeavor.
Well, we've had one world governments before, basically, virtually.
Well, because of the known world being so small, sure. But
the Pope.
What I'm saying is like culturally as a people, we've like the Western culture, why people say like the West is the best and stuff like that is because we are the most advanced like, culturally. And the reason we are is because
not compared to China.
Culturally we are. Like in terms of our rights and our what the hell are you
That's not
talking
culture.
But Western ideals,
Western ideals that's our culture.
They value.
Sean, they are the fastest growing country in the world.
What does that have to
dominating
do?
every environment? Technically, their culture would be stronger.
Value systems
but
and
are
your
the
personal
people
rights.
happy?
No, they're not.
But you view what you have as a higher value of personal rights because of your culture. In China, they believe in the collective rights of everybody and the like sacrificing for the greater good.
What do you think is better?
I'm not agreeing with it.
What do you think is better?
Talking about?
What do you think is better?
You can't argue that they're not because I grew up in the westernized culture. Of course,
Dan,
mine's better.
I don't care about growth as a country. I'm talking about like what we have done for humanity. Like that is what I'm talking about when I talk about that stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What we've done for human rights, what we've done for humanity. These things weren't just given to people.
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying why are they starting to dominate the world then?
Because the world is preoccupied with things that have nothing to do with our values and why we were established in the first place. And that something will happen. Either we'll go one way, either we will just completely embrace dystopia, or we will try to fight for what we have and what we've created. That's what I imagine will happen. It'll end in something that.
I say we just go full fucking anarchy then. That's the goal. That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah,
that is absolute freedom.
I mean, you have
and
to
I'm not talking
all options.
I'm not.
No, but anarchy, not in the sense of like destructive anarchy or what you imagine from the Hollywoodized version of it.
Nihilism.
No, not nihilism. Individual rights trump all.
That's not.
That's what true anarchy is.
Oh, that's anarchy. But
that is what true anarchy is, where your individual.
What does that have?
Your individual right should never be infringed upon by the state.
Yeah, but we follow the Western ideals.
This country was founded on anarchy and the principles of state anarchy. State have their right to be independent within the collective.
Okay, but our
they
government
can make their own rules.
Our government doesn't dictate like the human journey. Like it doesn't like.
Just say
it's
you're
not
high.
It's not what encapsulates our value systems. We create other institutions. We created education systems. We created religions. We created arts. Like those are the things that are actually keep the ball rolling. Those are our heuristics. So when we want to look back and see where we've come in terms of value systems and stuff, we don't look at our government.
But our government is what at least evolved it.
Our government,
the form of
our government
comes from that to be.
No, our government comes from those values.
Our government comes from
those establishments, those like moralities, whatever you want to call them. Say what do you say? Like the Judean Christian affectation of America. Where does that come from? Where do they get their guiding principles from? They
Jesus.
they didn't get
Well-
it from a government. They actually literally got it in fighting against the government.
Yeah,
Well,
but they did it. They did not. A Judeo-Christian influence of what?
Yes. Of like,
How did they influence our government
Of
exactly?
the
what
populace.
do you think the Constitution, like half the things in the Constitution, where do you think those philosophical concepts come from?
Where?
Like the idea of like free speech or like your personal sovereignty. Like those things are actually embedded in a lot of religious stuff and a lot of philosophical stuff. Doesn't come like that's why those guys were special, because they had a really good grasp on philosophy, history, and religion.
Exactly.
And the
Understood,
the
yes.
lessons of those things. But those things are not something that's given to us by a government.
But they are.
They're not.
That's
Well, it starts
You could
with
go
the
do that
people-
without the permission of
No.
the government. You can still have those conversations.
exactly.
And do
That's
those things.
anarchy.
Oh.
Well, anarchy is not the government.
Anarchy is the lack of government,
Okay.
a lack of governance. Why would those things not exist without
would.
the institution?
They would. I just said like it doesn't necessarily mean that is the highest ethic in terms of what you're trying to achieve with like a culture or society.
Our institutions have murdered, slaughtered, done all these like crazy things through the appeal to authority. And what I'm saying is, like in the Western ideal of governance, okay, is how we governed our people was absolutely unique in the world. Like it's unique, right?
Yes.
It's not something that
Well,
happens.
It's not really
anywhere else.
We were based on things that have worked, that we liked, systems. I mean, this goes back to the Greeks and the Romans. It's actually more the Greeks than anything.
Well, it's both Greek and Roman with the republic and democracy and the legislature.
And the reason why
But-
they did those things, because they gravitated towards that stuff, is because it is based on philosophical beliefs. It's not based on
Maverick Dan Fong Lee shill.
Yeah.
No, but
But it's
it
not.
just
It's
goes.
based on philosophical grounding that people, like human beings, could grasp and understand. It's not some abstract thing.
For sure. Okay. I'm just spitballing, dude. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I want to. I'm not arguing.
This is the difference
necessarily.
between when like Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson argue about truth versus metaphorical truth. Like a church, the Catholic Church, Christianity, whatever, it has metaphorical truth in it.
Right.
It stands as an example, as something that houses these moral systems that we've developed. And for some people, they need that. They need to go and believe that it's really true to be able to guide them. Other people can be like, well, this is just an example. This is a good place to house these things. Because if we don't house them in an institution, there's a fear that on a long enough timeline that you forget them. That's why like universities were created. Because if we don't start like institutionalizing this kind of knowledge and passing it on to other generations in a more formal way, we might lose them.
Well, why has academia always been at the forefront of some of the greatest atrocities
In modern times or in history?
and in history? Period.
Well, I don't know.
Used to manipulate population.
It can be.
No,
sure.
that the academia has always led to it. Look at eugenics in the 1920s in America. Harvard
that's
was
that's
very pro
Well, then
eugenics.
I'm talking about.
That's
like,
actually
you're talking-
the reason
Well,
Roe v. Wade got passed. was
Yeah,
because
you're
of
talking about
eugenics
how
belief at
academia
Harvard.
was used, not the purpose. Like,
Yeah,
what-
we're talking. I mean, if you want to talk about the
Well-
last 200 years, then maybe. But like, this is not something. This is not a new concept. This goes back thousands of years, 1,000, 1,500 years, whatever.
Yeah, well, the university, absolutely, it's all about. But as we've seen in the past, just even few years, how they've manipulated the academia and the people that go to university to
Yeah, because they've undermined the purpose.
Indoctrinate.
They've undermined the purpose of it.
right, and that's really why I think conservatives need to go build their own institutions.
I mean, you could say the same
Yeah.
thing about religion. Religion is constantly undermined and used for nefarious
Oh.
purposes. I mean,
God, it's gross.
but that doesn't mean like the big meta takeaway of those institutions is their actions sometimes. Like the things that they represent culturally are often different than their actions. That's what I would say.
Like priest fucking kids.
Well,
Kinda
yeah,
goes against
dude,
what
do you
they're
want
supposed
them
do.
to be powerful or not? You gotta get that spirit energy, dude. You can't spirit cook without fucking a few kids. I mean, come on.
I mean, it is literally how that structure protected pedophiles.
Yeah, in
Is
more
the-
recent history, yeah.
Oh, I mean, but forever, probably, dude. It was probably almost accepted at some weird level.
What?
Well, it's accepted at the political level, that's for sure. So why wouldn't it be accepted at the at a more religious level?
I don't know, dude. And that's
Aristotle's fucking kids, 100%.
they were all fucking kids back then. It was Jesus fucked kids, or are you saying Jesus, like as in, I can't imagine.
Hey, everybody.
I don't know,
Jesus
man.
Chilling.
Jesus straight chilling, straight gooning. What is the answer then to our current problem in America?
I thought you already answered that.
That's
Just
the question.
Stop following the rules.
Well, that's the thing, and that's kind of the individual, like, sovereign citizen shit. Go get a boat. Actually, go get a pond and be in the pond and be like, you can't touch me. I'm in.
Actually, I could show Ryan that video.
What?
Oh, what's that guy's name?
The sovereign citizen boat dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking
Birth canals, right? You know why they call them canals, right? 'Cause you were birthed from
Is he right?
Oh, what's his name?
No, he's not right.
Oh, maybe. he is.
Not in a
Maybe he is.
literal.
I think this is basically Dan, like, soon. Fucking
No, I mean, I don't believe anything I'm saying. It's just talking.
just saying words.
It's just
No, I
talking
know.
about
I
like
know we're just talking.
like the devil advocacy of like, well, is China really that bad, or are you conditioned to think they're bad?
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
But you're conditioned to think they're bad.
Well,
You're told that they're bad. You have American propaganda telling you that they're bad.
yeah, but if American propaganda, the Uyghur or what is it, Uyghur?
The Uyghur.
The Maverick, they're bad. I
The
understand. they're
Cheeto
bad.
Muslims or whatever.
Yeah, but like those
But the
are.
media isn't actively pushing that.
No, they're actively pushing that they're okay.
They're not educating the American public.
Exactly.
So
But that's what they're basically saying is like,
the Uyghur.
it's because if the institution tells you that it's wrong, just like how the institution is saying that what happened on the Capitol was wrong. Our institutions are established for saying. I'm not saying that what they did was right, but I'm also can say
But the
it's
Uyghur
only
Muslims?
the Capitol riots.
Oh.
It's like you're being told by every institution that they're wrong.
Oh, they messed up.
They definitely messed up, but only because the institutions tell you that they did. What happens if every single...
No, they messed up in like a really practical sense.
No, practicality. No, but if you can't say that.
I can
Look
because
at BLM and Antifa.
they were not.
They had the support of every institution
I understand.
except Republicans.
But what I'm saying
and they
is,
did fine.
I'm saying like this was a tactical flaw. Like, say whether you agree or disagree, you can just look at it objectively and be like, this is a tactical flaw because you guys were not coordinated. You had no central purpose. Now, basically, your actions are going to be used as the pretext to really butt-fuck people, their civil liberties, you know? Maverick says, Uyghur shark finning 800,000 trains of coal a day, new coal power stations every week, taking over Africa, spreading 6 pandemics in 22 years, authoritarianism, police violence. Well, we all got some problems.
Okay, I got something for you.
Dan loves it, though. He's very pro-China.
No, but it goes down. Million dead Iraqis, 500,000 dead Afghanis, almost 1 million dead in Yemen.
See, look what he's doing.
Syria.
Look what he's doing,
no,
everybody.
but don't
Radical.
like hold on. But it's like all in the name of spreading democracy around the world, where we just go around, stomp around, and kill everybody.
Hey.
Where we fucking are like literally invading countries for resources.
No shit.
It's like America is not the good guy in this scenario either. We're just as bad as China, but China's just doing it to its own fucking people.
So you're saying good for them?
It's awful. It's awful.
Like, hey,
it's
man,
all awful.
At least they
But
keep
like
it to their own.
America should not get a free pass for their authoritarianism
don't.
because we do.
No, I don't. I've been
Well, 'cause
working for a
we're-
long time.
I fucking
Dan
love-
Dan
I
has
love
basically
America.
turned into a different person in the past month.
No,
this
I'm just
election really shook him
propagandized.
up, dude.
No, it's not even
Propaganda,
propaganda.
man.
It's just sitting there going,
It is propaganda.
everything is propaganda. Fine, okay. Cyberpunk 2077, fucking show me all this sick shit propaganda.
Actually, he
okay?
started playing that around the time he started having his political awakening. So.
No, but it just goes, why can our institutions are just they're so weak, they're so frail. And then also how our institutions, these weak, frail institutions, have been used to cause tyranny all over the world, to be the police of the world. It's not even about who's behind it.
White men.
Yes, you're right. It is a bunch of white dudes, which is, you know.
I need you to get into a pink room in a pink chair and apologize.
Well, it's just like, what are we fucking doing here?
Dan's
Listen,
culture
I'm about to give you the answer.
Low
Dan.
rider seating position.
Oh no!
Oh no, no! But like, there is literally. It's just, come on, man. Like, America's done some is continuing to do some pretty awful shit.
Nobody denies
And it's like,
that.
we're just gonna get, and now we're all worried because our fucking, shit's gonna get bad in America.
Maybe we'll pay for our sins.
We are gonna pay for it. It's gonna happen. But like, at the end of the day, you decide how you go out. You decide if you enter the world. That's it.
Like, these are like the most easily clippable things. Like, just like,
Yeah,
you
that's what
decide
I'm
how
trying to
you
do.
want to go out. Do you believe in these institutions? Fuck them.
No, but
They're the terrorists. You sound like Jimmy Dore. They're the fucking terrorists. They're the fucking the corporations and the fucking government.
No, but it just goes. There is, like, I don't know. The power is in the people that are just fucking decide shit, I guess. It just goes shows you how fucking fake it all is.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Super fake.
It's
But
like,
it's
fuck.
fake on all fronts. Why?
We've been laughing
But it's
for a long
That's
time.
It's like-
old news.
It's like America is probably just as dangerous as China to the rest of the world. We're just actively going out and doing it while China's is set to their little region right now. Like, they're stuck, right? Because they don't have the military power yet, or like this yet. They don't have the institutional power to overcome what these obstacles are. But I'm just saying, like, they are tyrannizing their own people. Awful. Disavow. Obviously. But America is doing it actively throughout the world. Through the world.
Only
Right
in
now.
places with sand.
And Africa.
Sand.
But it's like, we're in Africa. We're in
Been
obviously
in
Middle East.
Africa. Been in
we're
Africa
literally-
since.
We're in over 100-something countries, man. We're everywhere.
Well,
we're
we're
in
chilling.
Pacific. Yeah, we're chilling until we're not.
And I think that's why this next video is really important for people to see. People, you got to know your rights. Okay, you got to know what it is. Now, if you are a loyal Zoobox watcher, you might have seen this. This is more for Ryan. I don't want him running out there naked, you know. He's got to know.
You gonna play it?
Understanding words is what you really need to start doing. You need to start doing your homework and understanding.
This is basically Dan. This is basically like, you need to understand what words mean.
Words. If you put an S in front of words, it becomes swords. And that's what words are. They're cutting. They can cause you great trouble. Humans are word control creatures.
He's probably so like.
So we
he's
need
like,
to
yeah,
establish
that's it
words
right there.
mean. Again, when we talk about law, there's a Roman.
You put an S in front of law, you got slaw. Law is sloppy.
Maximum in law that says, for he that would be deceived, let him. Simply meaning, if you are so ignorant as to be deceived, then that's your business. That's your problem. So you need to do your homework and find out what the words mean, especially in relation to law and government. Because there is a world of occultism that is operating today throughout the world, in which you use certain words, and when those words are used in a court,
What does that
they
marquee
don't mean the
say?
same thing at all.
I think
Conspiracy con.
begins where the conspiracy con begins, maybe. Wherever it is, it's a sweet place where people love freedom and they love information.
Is that the Scientology guy?
No. No.
That guy loved boats.
Understanding law and the words of law, there are two things that this planet has. Water and earth. Water and land.
Yep.
Consequently, there are two kinds of law. The law of the land and the law of water. You've heard the term law of the land. But in point of fact, that's precisely what this word means, law of the land, because it is the people who live on land. And
see, he's not going to be fucking tricked by your turns of phrase, okay? Not Jordan Maxwell.
that is opposed to something else called the law of the high seas, or the law of water. You need to understand the difference. The law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on the land. And so consequently, the law of the land is different in every country. You can do things in America you can't do in Russia.
Like, this is basically just what Dan just said. This is what Dan said. Dan, have you been watching Jordan Maxwell?
Words.
You can do things in Africa you can't do in England. So the law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on that particular land. However, there is a higher law that dominates the entire world. It's called the law of the water, or the law of the high seas.
Yep.
The law of water is referred to as the law of money. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, or where you live. Money is money. And anytime you're doing banking or using money, you are now under the law of water, maritime admiralty.
I like it.
If you go back in history, in ancient history, where all of this began, back in the land of Canaan, and you probably have heard in the Bible, the land of Canaan. The Canaanites were Phoenician bloodline, and in the ancient Phoenician language, Cana meant merchant banker. The very word merchant comes from mer, M-E-R, for the sea, for water. As a mermaid, we have merchant. Merchant bankers. Let me give an example of the difference between the law of water and the law of the land. The law of water, as I said, is a law of banking, money, as opposed to the law of the custom of the people or the law of the land. The Statue of Liberty must be put in water. It could not be put on American land as such. It had to be put in the harbor because it's not the Statue of Freedom. It's a Statue of Liberty. Liberty is what a sailor gets when he pulls into port on a ship. He gets liberty. He's not free. So America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave, period. We're not free. This is not a free country.
Like, seriously, who does this remind you of, Ryan? It's Dan.
This guy.
His almonds have been activated. Maverick
Imagine
says this channel would be perfect for mushrooms. You can buy them in shops here. Well, you're really lucky.
Imagine that fucking big, greasy, sweaty guy mounting you.
Talking about the law.
No, he's like, I'm about to enter your birth canal. There is the law.
Listen to these words.
I have a right. I have a God-given right. The law of the water says that your ass is grass and your grass is mine. The manatee.
I mean,
he looks like the penguin.
The floodgates have opened. I have a right.
I mean,
Wet
okay,
down
there is maritime law. There is maritime law, so
No, I know there is.
it's like, you know, this guy, but like this guy is basically going down the.
Oh, dude, it gets
the
so
road
much
of,
crazier. It gets so much crazier, Ryan. Like the word games he likes to play. Like I'm making a joke like seaman. Like he doesn't say that, but he could say that.
It's that comparison.
What is the translate? What's a merchant? What's that translation? Water what? Water seller?
Water money. Money. It's the law of water is a monetary thing. That's what he's trying to say. You'll see. He brings it all together.
Now let me give you an example of how this law of the water works. Why is it that you have to go to court? People are always concerned about going to court. You go to court because you play basketball and tennis on a court. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Why? 'Cause that's what it is. It's a racket.
What if he just looked at everybody and said, "Don't you fucking laugh"?
Yeah.
And make no mistake, they do not pick words by chance. These words are very serious. They do not use words and terms with no avail. These words are very important. When you go into a court, what's the idea of going to court? It's a game, like basketball. The whole idea in a
Is
court
he playing a game?
is to put the ball back in the other guy's court.
Oh my God! Well, hold on.
One team.
Sort of homosexual, homoerotic.
Is he trying to be clever by saying
He's showing
going
you.
to
He's
court
showing you
and
word
then
association.
subverting your expectations by
Yes and no, but he's
referring it-
also actually doing that. But he's also being like literal at the same time because he's saying like, look, these words have meaning. So when they use these words in different contexts, they still mean the same thing they do as in the other context.
Yeah, it's like a literal translation
okay.
across the board.
Yeah, so he's trying to say that this is a esoteric, mystical trick, like they're doing magic on you. That's it's not even shitting you.
I mean, it's like, you're not wrong.
Gets
Oh,
up.
yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, hey. I think some of the stuff he says is kind of crazy, but overall, I think he's all right. I think he's got some good points.
Gets up and they throw the ball over to that team of lawyers. That team gets up and throws the ball back into their court. And consequently, it's a ball game.
That's true.
And the judge is wearing a black robe, so he is the referee. The judge is the referee. He doesn't care which side wins or loses because he's going to get paid anyway. So he couldn't care less. He's merely there as a referee, and that's why he wears a black robe. And that's another interesting subject we can get into later. But
What do you mean, like a priest?
Well, like, why is he using the
law
term
priest?
court? What about like field?
I know, Dan.
Like, I know. I'm just, I mean, he's not wrong in his like analogy. Like his.
No, he's not. But this is not. It's
yeah.
not a 1-to-1. It's not.
No,
like,
it's-
what he's doing is kind of a little disingenuous because, like you
Yeah.
just said, you're like, well, you could call it a field. You call it the sports field or whatever.
Well, you don't
Maverick does not like what he said.
basketball in a field, you fucking fools.
Yeah,
The field-
judge is literally impartial.
Well,
Yeah,
you could say like the field of play.
there should be.
I don't know. Is this a
yeah.
waterlogged field?
Yeah. What about
Has there been a
water
rain
polo?
recently? Is this a marsh?
What about water polo?
Well,
It's a
that's-
pool.
The pool of law.
A pool of law. Tim Pool.
He's
Tim
like,
Pool
you know
of
what they
law?
also call? They say, you know what pool is? Gene pool.
Yeah.
That means
That
I get to
means
come
your
in this.
jeans-
I get to come in this pool,
They
and
call
I
me
wear
Seaman.
jeans. You see how they do this magic now?
I mean, it's pretty funny, but I mean, there is.
Dude, it's not even over. It's not, dude. It hasn't even gotten crazy. Yet,
All right,
though.
go. Let's
This
go.
is
Let's
all.
go.
This is all set up for the gravy.
the judge is a referee between two teams. The judge, we are told, rules from the bench. The word bench in Latin is a bank. Therefore, the judge rules for the bank.
Wow.
Yeah, but what the fuck? Like this is what I'm saying though.
This
Like,
whole- I just want to know. I want to
but-
know what he's.
but all like you can
I
find.
want to know, man.
You can,
I need to know these laws, man. The bench.
but you could
He works
find
from
like
a
the
bench, man.
Latin equivalent of other words too, that mean different things, right?
Right.
Yeah,
he
but
just-
son, this is a bigger
Chair.
picture, though.
I know, but you see how he snuck that in there though. He's like, you see how word association works? Now bench means bank in Latin. Now we've made a leap though. That's a big leap.
Yeah, but can't bank also mean the bank of a river?
Snuck it in there. Oh,
Like
Dan,
the bank-
Dan,
Fucking
Dan,
fat
you are.
bastard.
See, you're just like you are Jordan Maxwell. You might as well be his son.
This pizza
Where do you
is
find
water.
banks? You find banks on both sides of a river.
Oh
They're
shit.
called river banks. And what does a river bank do? It directs the flow of the current. See,
He's not wrong.
You hear what he just said?
Does it though?
It directs the flow of the current sea.
See,
The
I get
current
it.
sea.
He's being clever again.
Maverick says, is that even true? I don't know, Maverick. What do you think? Do you think this man looks disreputable? He's wearing a
You
suit.
think he would lie to you?
He's wearing a suit. He looks straight up like a character from an X-Files episode.
I feel like I could just hear him breathing. That's all I hear.
I am the manatee. All right.
The juice. Consequently, your money is currency because it's the flow, the cash flow. And give you an example of how this works. When a ship pulls into a harbor, all ships are referred to as female. Airships, rocket ships, sailing ships are always female.
True.
Why? There's a very good reason.
Full of semen.
Maritime Admiralty banking law says all ships are female because
you fuck
they're
ships,
carrying items.
No homo.
They're carrying items for money, and so consequently they are under Maritime Admiralty law. Admiralty is where we get the word admiral, admiral of the Navy. Let me give you an example of how this works. When a ship pulls into
He
a
didn't
harbor,
explain why they're
it
female.
parks at the dock.
Because he's not gay.
I thought he was gonna like say what. I thought there was gonna be a literal translation.
Well, there is about to be, I'm sure.
Maybe. I can't remember. Maverick says Latin for bank is scamnum, you lying dog. I don't know, Maverick. I don't know if
No, bench.
This man is a scholar. I don't think he would do that. I think maybe you're looking at some sort of urban dictionary, perhaps. I don't know. I mean,
I thought it was bench.
Scam.
Yeah, it is bench. It's bench is the
you could
Latin
if
word.
you said scamnum, I feel like we could work that into this weird word association. Scam them. Scam them. Scam them. Scam them out of their money.
The bench can be seen in French banquet and used such as bank of oars, where the rowers sat. The Latin bancus, it seems like that from Rome was borrowed from a Germanic-speaking group, which is bench.
Amazing.
Dan's just confirmed. Dan has confirmed. Maverick, you are the liar. I think you owe Jordan Maxwell an apology.
And it ties off at the dock. The captain has to provide for the port authorities a certificate of manifest, because yesterday the ship was not here, but this morning the ship pulled in, so it has manifested. So consequently, all the products, the $800 million worth of TVs or Toyotas, have manifested.
I like how he's just explaining like the business end of shipping things.
So each one of those items coming off of that ship has come off of water. And they has come in a ship, and consequently on a ship, all ships have a captain. The word captain comes from a Latin word capital, money. So the captain represents the money that's on board the ship. And as I said, the captain has to present to the port authorities a certificate of manifest for each and every item. How much does it weigh? What color is it? How many doors does it have? Etc. And consequently, the captain presents a certificate of manifest. The ship is sitting in its berth. Wherever a ship sits when it docks is called its berth.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for it to all come together?
Yes.
Placenta.
Sits in her berth, berthing a ship. Consequently,
that's why it's a woman.
All the items, as I said, coming off that ship represent money. They came in on water. They are Maritime Admiralty product. And this is true all over the world. Now, when you were born,
is he a pirate?
Your mother's water broke.
Yeah, that's how he knows.
Is that how he justifies
That's how he
it?
knows. He's like, listen, I used to be an admiral on a ship, and we used to ship goods. That's how I was woken up. Like, I woke the fuck up.
And when your mother's water broke, you came out, and this is why you have to have a birth certificate, because you are a Maritime Admiralty product under international law. You are considered, your body is considered a Maritime Admiralty product. Your mother...
See, this is what we were saying about the literal one-to-one. Like literally,
Yeah.
he has to be like, no, birth means the same exact thing in both contexts.
Delivered you. This is why if you go to Sears and buy a refrigerator, they will ship it to you. They will deliver it. And that's why you were in your delivery room. Your mother was delivering a product. Maritime Admiralty. You came down.
Is this
your
how we get
mother's
to slavery?
birth canal. And once you and as you
I love the knowing laughter. They're like, ah, yes, Jordan, the birth canal.
It's all coming
sure they're
together
not mocking
now.
him? You sure they're not mocking him?
No. Dude,
All right,
no,
keep going.
because that was knowing laughter. Like knowing laughter and like, oh my god.
He's making some good points.
He's making,
See
you
how
know,
he
some of this stuff's crazy, but you know, the birth canal thing really kind of got me.
You're taking one of the televisions or the cars off the ship and it falls down and breaks, that's all right. Sometimes they're stillborn, so consequently you've lost money on that
Broken
one.
TV.
Therefore you have to have a death certificate, and it's always signed by the doc. The doc has to sign your birth certificate
That's so
and your
fucking
death
stupid.
certificate. All of these words and terms are maritime admiralty banking words. And therefore, if you understand lawyers and judges and courts and government are all under international maritime admiralty law.
Yes.
All religions, all churches in the world operate under maritime law. This is why all churches are divided into denominations, like 20s and 50s and 100s. Serious. This is why they're called denominations, because all churches are nothing more than the product of maritime admiralty banking. It's an extraordinary story of occult treason, high treason and crimes against the state. Make no mistake about it, there has never been a country on the face of the earth as far back into history as you can go. There has never existed a country in which the people rose up and demanded their right to be free.
See, he didn't live till now, though. He just missed this past week. Maybe they knew about this, and they were just like, we cannot be fucking slaves to the sea. This water law. It's out of control.
This is before Braveheart as well.
What is before the movie?
Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, yeah, this is probably like 1991. Why?
He would never have said that.
Well, no, Ryan. Nobody's gone against the law of water. Nobody's gone after
That's
the
true.
big dog, dude. Everybody
Wait, is that where he's going?
Listen, man, I don't want to put words in these. Man speaking eloquently.
Are we
for
have to
himself.
rebel against water?
The law of water.
Oh, okay.
Never. The concept of human, spiritual, intellectual, and physical freedom is a totally concept that has never, ever existed on the earth. The only time that has ever come into existence was the founding of this country, where it was understood that we were sovereigns and we owned our bodies, and consequently, since 1868, we're now under international maritime admiralty law. Think about this. When cowboys in Indian movies, when the cowboys would ride into town, they'd get off the horse, they were wearing guns. How come they could walk into a bar carrying guns? And if two guys got in an argument, they could go out on the street and draw on each other in front of the sheriff's office, and the sheriff would do nothing. How come?
Because shit was
How
cooler.
come that men could go out in the street and shoot each other in front of everyone and had nothing be done about it? The reason why is because before 1868, all Americans were considered sovereigns. And that's one of the nice things about being a sovereign, is you have the right to be yourself. And consequently, you need to understand that in one last point I'm going to make before I introduce your speaker, that
This is just the
in
introduction. to somebody
1868,
else.
there was a corporation founded. Anyone can incorporate a company. Well, in 1868, there was a company incorporated.
The kicker.
And in that particular company, the founders of that company called it, they referred to it as the United States Corporation. And they stipulated that anybody who would be a member of that corporation or work for that corporation would be called not an employee, but a citizen. So today, if you are asked, are you a citizen of the United States, what you think you're being asked is, are you lawfully in this country to do business? That's not lawfully what's being asked. They didn't ask if you were in America lawfully. They asked you a specific question. Are you, of your own volition, out of your own mouth, testifying that you are a citizen of the United States? Because in that way, citizen of the United States means you are an employee of a foreign corporation operating on international maritime law. So today, the President of the United States is the president of a privately owned company. The company is called United States. And the word president is always a word that is used in corporate law. Banks have presidents. All companies have presidents. So there's a corporation called United States, privately owned, and it has a president. President Bush is not the president of America. President Bush is the president of a privately owned company. Privately owned, out of England.
Well,
you need to understand words and terms. Because I believe that there is a divine presence in the universe that men call God, and one day that divine presence is going to move on the earth, and we're going to see freedom come back to this world. And when it does, you're going to need to understand words and terms and how they have been used to trick you.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Now you know the
Because,
truth. Now you
well, I
know
mean,
the
okay,
truth.
but hold on. So, like, going down the rabbit hole for fun, disavow. But, like, it's the Federal Reserve is a private bank that owns the currency.
Federal.
No, it's not.
No, it's not actually a federal thing. It's just called the
Yeah.
Federal Reserve.
I was trying to play word association. Federal.
Fed,
Think of anything.
FBI,
Federal.
Federal Bureau,
Blue.
clothes.
Blue.
If you wear clothes, you're a Fed.
Blue.
Um,
Sad. Blue. Water.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if there is at least a, you could argue that it is a federally, our federal government is funded by private organization, private bank.
Amazing.
I mean,
So,
it
yeah,
is.
I told you this is.
I mean, but like but if you go play a Ron Paul speech, he's not that far off from this.
His
You go read
justification.
"End the Fed."
No, but you can talk about certain institutions and stuff that have obviously been there to do different things, but he's talking. This goes like all the way back. Like this is like they are like some foreign entity owns us because of maritime admiralty law. That's why you're not even really a citizen of everywhere. You're just an employee of a company.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, I mean, they pay you
This
every
is
year.
this is the basis.
Taxes.
This is the basis for sovereign citizens too. This is when they go to court and they say, "Oh, you're charged with something." Like, well, I don't consent to your authority because of admiralty law.
Well, goddamn it, you got us.
God damn, another one got us again. Well,
But
hope this doesn't get out. I wouldn't
I
want
gotta
too many
go.
people to know.
I'm about to pass out.
You're about to pass out. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is getting late.
Jesus Christ.
You guys can keep
It's
going.
just-
No, we're good. We got 3 hours. Gotta go 3 hours
Yeah.
on live stream. All right. Well, since you got something you want to stay on, Dan? What are you doing?
No, I mean, I'm good to go. I'm just saying, make sure you know your maritime law, and then maybe it'll protect you.
Yeah,
I
get
don't know.
informed. Next time you get a traffic ticket, you just say, "Listen, I don't agree with this, and this
This
is why."
guy is pretty wild.
You ever heard of Jordan Maxwell?
I'm telling you, next Monday or Wednesday we should do
They follow the law of the land. when you
we
get
should
pulled.
do Rand
Law
Paul
of the
night.
Water.
You want
Let's
to
go through Rand Paul's
You mean Rand Paul
bangers.
or Ron Paul?
Ron Paul, sorry.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we gotta find the clips. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun.
we could do that. I would be totally down to go down the old libertarian / Tea Party rabbit hole, I suppose.
Because
See
he
what
was
could have been.
and
What could have been, gentlemen.
if Rand Paul would have been a better, more charismatic person, he probably would have been president.
He was just an old bastard.
He was just
Who,
I
Ron
mean, he's
Paul
good.
or
He's a
Rand?
great thinker.
I mean, Ron Paul
Ron.
had a pretty big grassroots campaign. I mean, he if the
Not as big as Donnie T.
if the field had been different back in the day, I mean, he was like a
He wasn't as
Bernie
charismatic.
Sanders. Oh, people love Ron Paul. Like people love.
I love Ron Paul. I love him.
The military loved him too.
Ayn Rand, Rand Paul, coincidence? No, actually. Not.
She was she a socialist or
No.
no?
No,
she was
she was
against that shit,
fucking
right?
Oh,
She was
shit.
like,
she invented a philosophy called objectivism. She read a bunch
Yeah.
of books and wrote some philosophy books.
but
and
didn't she
was-
read what was Atlas Shrugged? Right, that's like one of the most famous books.
That's her most famous one. There's the Atlas Shrugged, the Fountainhead.
Narnia.
But she was virulently anti-communist, and because she was from communist Russia, she left when she was a little
Right.
girl, and then ended up working her way, getting into the Hollywood system house like very young. She was just a very like good writer and demanded people's attention, and got in there, and then became kind of part of the intelligentsia, think tanks and whatnot. And then developed this thing called objectivism. Was widely decried in media. People really didn't like her because they said she was selfish.
Not
Because
very
part of
hot
the
either.
tenets of objectivism is that you take care of your own self-esteem first. And in her mind, she's just like, well, like your success, your self-esteem, your well-being will actually help you generate that in other people.
Wasn't that kind of what Jordan Peterson says as well? Have your
Yes.
house in order before you try to
Pretty much.
change the world.
Kind of, yeah. To a certain degree, yes. But anyways, well, that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Maverick, Prophet,
Peace out, Maverick.
Fractal. Appreciate you guys coming by. If
Voyage.
Voyage, if I forgot you too, sir. We'll be back on Friday nights, I think 8:30, and I think we're going to do the Animal Passions watch along.
Animal Passions. That's the one you can't miss.
And I don't give a fuck what happens in the news. Because we talk
Yep, we're
about
going
that plenty enough.
straight in.
Plenty.
Unless something really big happens.
Sebastian, don't worry, buddy. You can scrub back. And if you're around, Friday, 8:30.
8:30
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, buddy.
But thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Anyways, good night.
Like it, like, share, subscribe.
Good night.
Good night. Ryan's gonna go eat pizza. He's
I'm gonna eat pizza and then I'm gonna pass out.
does not
It's
believe in
beautiful.
admiralty law.
Just not.
Bad person. All right, everybody. Good night.
All right.
Bye.